talk, and we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to get into the Pam Bondi, Epstein stuff early on. All right.
Doctor's order or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor could order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit Any Lab Test Now of Boca at Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any
Stand by. We'll be back on the air in less than a minute.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
All righty, welcome one and all. We got a lot to cover. I'm Brian. It is Thursday already. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm going to start in a moment talking about Pam Bondi's big release today. But I want to talk about something unrelated for a few minutes because it's got to be talked about. Jean Hackman has died. And do you even know who Jean Hackman is, Mike? See, Jean Hackman is one of the great American actors. And he didn't start acting until he was in his 30s, in the 70s. So he hasn't really made a movie since the 90s, since the mid-90s, because he didn't want to be some senile old man on screen and look like an old crypt keeper. And he retired from acting like in the 90s. And not only has Jean Hackman died, he's died under these just god-awful, bizarre circumstances. And I feel like I got to mention it because I'm a big fan of Jean Hackman is one of the greatest American actors who has ever lived. Now, Steve will disagree with me on that later because, different generations. But you know who Jean Hackman is, Mike. You just don't know. He was Lex Luthor in Superman the movie, of course. And that's what you might know him from. But, Jean Hackman was found dead in his home along with his wife and dog. So Jean Hackman's wife, and Jean Hackman's dog all found dead. The first statement from the police is they don't suspect foul play, so maybe someone left the gas stove on. I don't know, but it is just awful. And Jean Hackman, you look at the reason I bring this up is not just because I'm a fan of Jean Hackman. I mean, Unforgiven, The Quick and the Dead, Superman, Unforgiven. I mean, every role. I mean, he's just a great actor. Crimson Tide. Yeah, his dog too. I know, it's crazy. That's why I'm thinking somebody left the gas stove on. Who knows? That's why I've never liked having gas stoves. I got electric. When I was a kid, we had gas. I always made me nervous. I'm always leaving the oven on. I never wanted one of those in the house. I don't know that that's why he died, but Jean Hackman, his wife and dog, all found dead in his home. The Oscars are coming up, and Conan O'Brien is hosting. And I got to tell you something. They should suspend the Oscars. They really should. For them to give each other awards for complete garbage, okay? There is nothing that has been made in the last year that is deserving of an Oscar. Maybe they should, they should have those Raspberry Awards if they still do that. But they're not putting out Oscar-winning films, and they're not Oscar-level performances anymore. I'm sorry to tell you, they should be embarrassed to give and receive awards for the garbage they're putting out now. And there just really aren't any great American actors anymore that are still acting. Okay, that are still acting. I know maybe Clint Eastwood does a cameo in one of the movies he's in, but we really don't have great actors anymore and certainly not great movies. But this situation with Gene Hackman, I mean, you're welcome to call in about Gene Hackman if you'd like. I mean, there's not much to say about what happened, but he's just a great American actor, and it's hard to pick what his greatest role was. I'm trying to think if I've seen Gene Hackman in even The Birdcage. Remember The Birdcage? They made it in South Beach. He was in The Birdcage with Robin Williams, and I went down there when they were filming that and watched them film a little bit of that on South Beach. But I'm trying to think of some others. I'm trying to think, is there anything Gene Hackman was ever in that I didn't like? But I'll tell you this, it tells you never know when your number's up. He was one of the most famous men alive in the 80s and 90s. And the last movie, I should have looked this up before I went on the air, because I cannot remember the name of the last movie I remember seeing him in was a heist movie where he played a lifelong thief. Danny DeVito was in it. And it was that same old story where the old retired thief comes back for one more job. And he was very good in it. It was a low-budget movie, but he was very, very good in it. And if I remember correctly I was talking on YouTube about this today. And I'm such a big fan of Gene Hackman. I have some of his bio memorized. And I remember hearing, and I'm sure, his whole bio is probably all over the news already today, or it will be soon. He started his first role, or at least his first movie, my recollection was Bonnie and Clyde with Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. And he was like 35 years old then. And that movie was like 1970. Oh yeah, Hoosiers. Hoosiers, another great Gene Hackman movie where he played the basketball coach. I don't even like sports, and I love Hoosiers. But so Gene Hackman, his wife and dog, all found dead in his home. And that's just sad. Sad, You like to see a big movie star like that go out a little bit better than that. But anyway, that's that. It's just sad. All right, well, you're welcome to call in about Gene Hackman, and you can tell me about your favorite Gene Hackman. I will say I'm not a big fan of The French Connection, I got to tell you. Maybe that's a period piece, or maybe if you're a New Yorker. But I have not seen The French Connection in a long time. I was a lot younger when I saw The French Connection. So maybe if I saw it now, I'd enjoy it. I don't know. That football movie with Keanu Reeves, not a big fan of that one either. But most of that was some of the cashing in roles he was doing towards the end. But but he was very smart. He did what very few people do. He walked away before he got old and feeble because he didn't want to. He wanted to be, I'm assuming, remembered like we remember Gene Hackman, not this 96-year-old crypt keeper that we saw in a picture that came out of him a few months ago. But just a terrible way to go. All these people who fight hard for their gas stoves and everything. I don't know if that's why his wife and dog died, but when you find the husband, the wife, and the dog all dead in their home, that's my first thought. When they say there's not, the police say they don't believe there was foul play involved. So that's what my first thought is, but it could be something else. Who knows? We'll find out soon. I don't know. How much coverage will Gene Hackman? I may be giving more coverage to Gene Hackman than anybody else because he's been out of the. I don't think he's made a movie since like '98 or something. I'll look up his IMDb and I'll find out the last movie that he did. That Cape. I'm pretty sure that Caper movie that Danny DeVito was in with him was his last movie. And Sam Rockwell was in that. You guys know Sam Rockwell? Sam Rockwell was in that movie as well. He played another thief. All right. Well, listen, your thoughts on Gene Hackman are certainly welcome. After the break, I want to take this first break on time so we can do it. I don't have time to transition to another topic before the break, but I'm going to talk about Pam Bondi was on Jesse Waters last night, and I'll play a clip of it. She's talking about her Epstein release that looks like it'll start today, and I want to share my thoughts on that. We have a lot to cover on the program, and your calls are welcome, and you're welcome to call about Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman's certainly worthy of a call. There was a time when if a movie came out with Gene Hackman, it was going to be the #1 movie that weekend. That's just the way it is. Remember Crimson Tide? Oh my goodness. I don't know. What would you say his best role was? The best performance? That's hard to say. That's hard to say because he was so good in everything. I'm going to stick with, I like Superman the movie, with Christopher Reeve. That's, they should not have made any other superhero movies after that one. It was so good. It's so perfect. And it holds up because I've seen it recently. Superman the movie with Jean Hackman as Lex Luthor. All right. After the break, I'll get into Pam Bondi. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott, the DJ here at the True Oldies Channel, smack dab in the middle of the Steve Kane Show with Brian, and a reminder that we're back to the rock and roll oldies at 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies Channel.
Scott here from CutMyKilowatts.com. We are an energy saving and insulation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little.
Yeah, The Firm, that's another one.
Make sure you get your
With Jean Hackman.
The Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $14,000 per year. Funds available on a first come.
Yeah, that's another one. The Firm, he was very good in The Firm.
Families up to $150,000 of income. $14,000 per year. This is huge.
I forgot the Poseidon Adventure. That's right. I forgot about the Poseidon Adventure. Enemy of the State. Is he in The Shining, Gene Hackman? He's good in everything. Even if the movie's crap, he was great in it.
You get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or go to cutmykilowatts.com and fill out the form.
Yeah, if you watch on your TV or the other stream, you get everything. On the vertical stream, you don't get to see or hear everything.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant.
Bat 21's not that great. There's a big technical issue with that movie that always... I'm not a big fan of Bat 21. But he was good in it.
Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs.
Stephen King's such a jerk. I could not enjoy The Shining.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show.
All right, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. In the first segment, if you just tune in, Jean Hackman died under very strange, god-awful circumstances. Jean Hackman was found dead in his home, and his wife and dog were also found dead in New Mexico. I remember when he first retired, he lived in the Keys, and I remember a story, he got clipped by a car riding his bicycle in the Keys. I remember that. But then he moved to New Mexico and left us. All right, I'll take some of these calls, and then I'll get into the news issues of the day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
Ed News. Brian, I remember, you see, I was surprised you didn't like the French Connection. I know I was from New York, but I think he won an Academy Award, that movie did. iMovie, it was... I haven't seen
the French Connection, which Roy Scheider's in, who's like, but I haven't seen the French Connection since I was a kid. So if I saw it as an adult, I might like it. But I forgot about a big one, the Poseidon Adventure, right? He's the star of the Poseidon Adventure.
The guy was great. As for but Hollywood, you said there's no great actors anymore. You're right. When Hollywood, the studios broke up, and they all these actors that were good actors and great actors that were under contracts and actresses. They all shifted. They all went independent.
What the problem is now, it's all this DEI. To get nominated for an Oscar, if you're like, say you do a remake of Little Women, right? You've got to have a transgender person. You got to have a black person. You got to have I mean, we're talking about what Edwardian England, or maybe it's Victorian. Is that Little Women? Ladies know. Ladies are obsessed with Little Women. But so you were in England back in Queen Victoria's time. You got to have a transgender and a black person. They didn't have too many of those, and and there's all kinds of other qualifications. Hollywood just produces garbage now.
Percent. So look, and I'm gonna get the guy from New Jersey a little crazy. Mr. America, a cartoon character.
Oh, Captain America.
Oh, black Captain America. He's not black. 12% of the population, and he's representing the whole country. And that's the guy right away. I mean, to me, that's like.
Yeah, but I understand it. But the thing with Captain America, the co-creator of Captain America was a listener of this show. If he's still with us, I met him a couple times. Good guy. You never know who's listening when you're on the air in South Florida. And that was always like next to Superman, my second favorite here, superhero. But there's nothing wrong with having black actors starring in things, but in everything. And get some new heroes and do some new roles. I mean, it's just that whole story is just absurd. And that sellout Harrison Ford, who's just doing anything for money now, as the Red Hulk.
The thing about death, okay? So many times we have electric in Florida, most of everybody. And you do hear people, as you say, complaining, I don't like to cook with an electric stove. Let me tell you something. I see these things all the time where houses and complete streets are demolished because of a gas stove blowing up. It takes out 3-story houses and stuff like that. People forget that it's on.
Well, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the air. I've been on the air so long, I probably told this sometime. But I am terrified of gas and propane and all of that. My grandfather was killed. He was at a house, not his own house. He was helping somebody at their house do something, and this idiot was doing some plumbing and took out a blowtorch next to the gas line and blew up the whole house and killed my grandfather when I was a teenager, and it killed himself too. The idiot doing the welding, and I don't go anywhere near. I don't even have a gas grill at home. I'm terrified of that stuff.
Well, here's the deal. You remember Griffin Road and University Drive?
Mm-hmm.
Muffler shop?
That's right. Remember that blew up in Plantation? Absolutely. Yes.
It took out the shopping center across the street, the Publix, every window. There was pieces of rock.
Yeah.
Think the most. The other thing is sometimes after on a sporting event, so he could have an electric stove. This could have happened also. How many times have you ever gone to an event where you hear the announcement, does anybody have this license plate number? You blocked your car and the car is still running.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes park in a garage in their own home. They're in such a rush to get in and carry groceries.
Yeah.
Turn the car off.
That's right.
That'll kill you too. That's silent death. Right?
Yeah. My garage is a junk room. There's no room for a car. I make room when there's a hurricane coming, but that's about it. But this thing with Jean Hackman, with Jean Hackman, the wife and the dog, I'm assuming the gas stove, or maybe they left the car on in the garage by accident. The guy was 96, but he was a great actor.
Absolutely, unbelievable. I like the Birdcage also. That was a fun movie. That was really.
It's a remake. It's a remake of La Caja Falls.
Yeah, he also was some kind of a general or an admiral in the Navy. He had a role. I'm trying to think what that movie was. He was an officer.
Crimson Tide, the submarine movie, Crimson Tide with Denzel. He was the submarine captain. James Gandolfini is in that before Sopranos. That is a great movie, Crimson Tide.
Oh, Steve disagrees. He was.
Well, Steve likes the 50s. I'm a big fan of film noir. My wife and I, we watch film noir movies all the time. I love the movie. I like the 30s. I like The Thin Man and all that stuff. You know, my wife and I, we watch all those movies all the time on Turner Classic. We got the app, the Turner Classic movie app. But so Steve likes the 50s. So he likes, Brando and all that stuff. But I'll tell you, the thing with Jean Hackman, you look at what they're going to give awards to with this next Oscars. I would be embarrassed to accept an award for this garbage that they put out today.
Some of those movies that they win Academy Awards, not for nothing. And it started with that movie where everybody was like the Revolutionary War. It was they had those fake wigs on and everything.
I don't know what you're talking. Oh no, not Amadeus. You're talking about. Are you talking about Amadeus? You're going back to you're going back like 45 years.
First crap movie that they made.
Amadeus.
The Academy Award used to be like great movies, and now look what they turn out. Like you said, they're turning out movies that you go into the movie theater.
Oh yeah, right. Another great Gene Hackman movie. Somebody just told me this in the chat. Uncommon Valor. Remember Uncommon Valor with Jack Lemmon? Was Jack Lemmon? No, who was in Uncommon Valor? Who played the father? Gene Hackman was the mercenary. Who played the father that hired him in Uncommon Valor? I forgot. Who was? Anybody remember? Who was the other guy, the other star? All right, anyway, Richie, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. It's Danielle from Michigan.
Hey, Danielle.
Yeah, I was a great fan of Gene Hackman as well. Sad news to wake up to. I'm just hearing about it on your show. He was in a movie with Ann Archer, one of my favorites. I forget the name of it, On a Train, if anybody knows.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Yes, he played a lawyer. They were trying to kill her. They were trying to kill Ann Archer.
I believe so. I mean, it was...
Was...
months ago.
Oh, yeah, I know. I cannot remember the movie, but I cannot remember that.
Yeah, it's tragic. Very sad. I mean, they don't make...
Remember The Firm? He was in The Firm. They kill him in The Firm, and they find him in the bathtub in the Caymans in The Firm. He was so good.
I love, like Richie said, one of my favorites is The Birdcage. Oh.
And I'm surprised to hear you guys say that. I mean, The Birdcage is good, but Gene Hackman's best role?
Well, I don't think no, I mean, I just like the movie. I like, who is it? Nathan Lane, I think it is.
Nathan Lane and Robin Williams.
But I liked him in the Ann Archer movie, and I forget the name of that movie. But this is very tragic, very sad news to wake up to. But
it's so funny that Ann Archer movie. That movie is so old. I cannot remember the name of the movie, but I can remember what the VHS cover was on the tape for the movie A Blockbuster. And it was him and Ann Archer, like, hugging each other on the train, like, fighting from someone. Yeah, exactly. But I can't remember the movie. Yeah. Heist was his last movie. Heist was the name of the last, somebody just told. Heist was the last movie that I saw him in. And that may have been his last major movie. That was like 96 or something.
Yeah, they don't make movies anymore. I don't go to the shows except the Angel Studio movies. There's nothing else.
I have not been to a movie in the movie theater since before COVID, and I used to always go. I can't remember the last time I went to the movie. The only thing that would get me into a movie theater is if another Star Wars or Star Trek movie comes out, and I don't want to wait. Then I'd go, but I don't know. Even those are so bad. I don't even know if I'd go for that. It'd be on demand in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't watch the Oscar shows. I don't think I've watched that in 30 years. I don't even know why they have the...
It's a funny thing about the Oscars. I used to watch it when, because, I used to like the movies. And I gave up when they didn't give the Oscar to Burt Reynolds for Boogie Nights. And that was like an incredible performance. And I like it's the Oscars are fixed. It's a popularity contest. It's all fake. And I used to watch the Oscars because Joan Rivers did the red carpet thing, and she would make fun of all the celebrities to their faces. But after they did what they, you know what happened to Joan Rivers, right?
Yeah, Yeah, I don't want to say it, but
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. Take care. All right. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour, and I'll get into the news of the day, which of course is involving the great Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States. But you're welcome to call in about Gene Hackman is worthy of your praise today. If you want to call in about Gene Hackman, please do, because he's probably more great movies than we could remember. But I'm surprised so many conservatives say their favorite film is The Birdcage, because if you remember in The Birdcage, it's a remake of La Caja Falls, and it's very good. I've seen The Birdcage. Nathan Lane and Robin Williams are gay men that are married, right? Robin Williams has a son who's engaged, and the girl he's engaged to, her father is Gene Hackman, who plays a Christian evangelical Republican U.S. senator who's a homophobe because he's a Republican. So I'm surprised that you MAGA Republicans out there think Gene Hackman's best role is in a movie where they're making Republicans look like homophobes. You maybe didn't realize that because you like. All right, we'll take our break and be back.
Making morning radio great again.
I think you're gonna really love it.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with Amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this morning, we're back to the rock and roll music on the True Oldies channel.
From the All Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
There's no rain throughout the area. Will be a chance of showers around 77 degrees. Thursday night, a slight chance of showers and partly cloudy with a low of 64 degrees. Friday, a high of 74 degrees and mostly sunny. And then Friday night will be mostly clear with a low of 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And
Narrow Margin, that's the movie with Ann Archer. Narrow Margin, that is it. That's right, Narrow Margin.
Traffic check.
Correct.
By the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Military Trail. Traffic reduces just one lane in each direction. Hypoluxo Road, Lions Road to Somerville Terrace. Spot something on the road.
Narrow Margin, that is correct, Kimberly. Did you know that or did you look it up? Heist is very good too. That's got to be his last major movie, at least, if not his last film.
Check out the exciting lineup with fabulous dinner shows like Splish Splash, the music of Bobby Darin, March 14th, comedian Patrick Putty,
Narrow Margin,
March 20th, the Pure Zeppelin,
1990. Oh my
March
gosh.
21st, Simply Tina on April 11th, and more. The Paddock is also your best bet for great food, super OTB, and sports action with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For tickets and info, go to ppkennelclub.com.
If you're a homeowner or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing has been in the roofing and construction business since 1984, with thousands of roof installations and thousands of satisfied customers. Did you know that in the state of Florida, you can open a roofing company and borrow someone else's license? Tom Laporta is the holder of his roofing and general contractor's licenses, not like the other companies that borrow other people's licenses. So be sure who you're dealing with. Tom Laporta and his team are honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Roofing carries all insurance, including workers' compensation on all of its employees, not just a waiver like other contractors. Laporta Roofing can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing, HOAs, condominiums, and churches. If it's roofing, Laporta Roofing can do it. So call Tom Laporta on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, or connect online at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602. Laporta Roofing, the go-to roofing company you can trust.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from Nutritional Palm Beach Gardens. We're so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned family-run health food stores in the area. They carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathic, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top-quality brands. They also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Donna from Jupiter. I'm calling to share my great experience with Jupiter Joe. My husband and I started listening to you a few years ago, and that's when we learned about Jupiter Joe Thomas. We're seniors with no pension and collect Social Security. All our investments were in stocks and IRAs until we heard about Jupiter Joe. Speaking of having your money work for you, so we got in touch with him.
Oh, yeah. Bonnie and Clyde was 67. Yeah.
Trying to locate all our diversifications. He answered all our questions clearly and returned every phone call. He recommended an annuity that enabled us to get a safe monthly income for life. So I just want to tell everyone, if you're in need of additional income, especially with the high cost of everything these days, please call Joe Thomas. It's no cost to you. He is so professional, knowledgeable, trustworthy, and you can put total confidence in him. My husband and I can't say enough good things about Jupiter Joe and his staff.
I want to thank you for your kind words for Jupiter Joe Thomas. If you want to call Joe Thomas, I'm going to give you his number. It's a no-charge consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online at jupiterjoe.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 48 years on the air.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi,
Yes.
Eileen. I'm calling from Plantation.
Hey, Eileen. All right, Eileen. What's up?
Another movie, speaking of Jean Hackman, we just saw, I don't know how old it was, The Shooter with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, The Shoot. Oh, yeah. I've not seen that movie. The one with Ann Archer is called Narrow Margin. Someone told me during the break. Narrow Margin. That was in 1990 though. I mean, he hasn't made a movie in like 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And The Shoot. It's it's just listen. The guy was 96, but the way he went out was awful. Gene Hackman, his wife and dog, all found dead in their home. Police say they don't suspect foul play, so carbon monoxide poisoning, the gas from the stove, something. I hope. All right, take care. I tell you, a lot of times when you're young and you say, oh, they're 96, but as you get older, you're like, I don't care if I'm 196. We just learned from Doge that there are people over 300 years old alive. So 96, Gene Hackman was just getting started compared to some of these people that are collecting Social Security, according to Doge. All right, so let's get into the issues. You're welcome to call in about Gene Hackman throughout the show. I think Gene Hackman is worthy of that, but I'm going to bring up some of the news. And let me just play this clip. This is Attorney General Pam Bondi with Jesse Waters last night, talking about the Epstein files.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have, well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah. What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well,
along with his co-defendant.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about this with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, before Jeffrey Epstein was internationally famous, he was on trial here in Florida locally. And it was a local news story for the longest time. He was trying to adopt like his girlfriend. Remember all that weird stuff? He was a strange cat. But I'm going to tell you, prepare to be disappointed with the Epstein files, okay? If you remember, they did Obama was president, right? Wasn't Obama president when they got Epstein? Well, at least when they went to Epstein Island. And when they went to Epstein Island, the feds raided Epstein Island, and he had a home there. Whatever, now this would be my guess. I think all we're going to get from Pam Bondi, and she's talking about releasing a list on Saturday too, is just a bunch of names on a list. Some of them we may not have heard before, but names on a list and flight logs. I don't think there's going to be much there. Jeffrey Epstein, it was believed, had everything wired up and had recordings of all these celebrities and politicians that he was hooking up with these underage girls. And if that is true, the powers that be took all of that. It may be in the FBI files, those old Hoover files that they keep adding on to. But I don't believe that you're going to see anything that's going to be exciting. If there was anything incriminating, they took it when they raided all of his homes and everything around the world. It's just going to be a list of names. And so much has been put into the Epstein files. It's like the Kennedy files, okay? They've been going through the Kennedy files now for a couple of weeks. Has anything come out? No. Anna Paulina Luna. Isn't Luna in charge of the JFK files? And the thing about the JFK files, most anything in there that would be incriminating, if there ever was, because, you know, these criminals in government aren't documenting their crimes, right? They didn't plan an assassination of President Kennedy and document it and file it away in a filing cabinet. You know, criminals don't keep records. There's more records now because things are so electronic. But there's probably not going to be much in the Kennedy files. Now, there may be some things in there that lead people in another direction and they could do, you know. Whatever was in the Kennedy files that was incriminating probably has been destroyed if there ever was anything incriminating. And that goes for both assassinations, by the way, mostly President Kennedy's. And I expect the same thing is true of the Epstein files. Anything, the reason they got him and the reason he's no longer with us is because they were destroying whatever blackmail material he had, or James Comey and his team have it somewhere to control people in the government. So don't get excited about this Pam Bondi release. And I mentioned this to Steve at the end of the show yesterday. I love Pam Bondi. Okay? And I tell people this a lot. She's much better looking in person than she is on TV. I don't know what that is about her. And I've known some other people like this. They look better in person than on television. Pam Bondi made a mistake the other day with the president. She started talking about taking people's guns away. She was sitting next to President Trump, and she was telling him how she was doing something to take guns away from people, although temporarily until police can investigate. Remember this the other day? And nothing against Pam Bondi. She's a little rusty. She hasn't been in public office for a while. And she's a local Florida girl. And now here she is on the national stage, and she said something that was not smart to say if you're a MAGA Republican. And then was it the same afternoon she started talking about the Epstein files. So I'm not expecting, and you should not either, expect anything out of these Epstein files, even if there's names we haven't heard before. Okay? Because so what? What are they going to do with those names? You know, and how do we know when these names were put on that list? There may be Republicans on that list that really weren't on the list, that they've added on the list because they want to tarnish the reputation and they put them on this list long ago. Names on a list mean nothing. Now, if there was audio and video that they had, that would be different. That'd be different. Okay? You know, there was not film, but there was audio of both President Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy having sex with Marilyn Monroe. Okay, and Geraldo Rivera found out about this. You could even hear the mattress springs, and you could tell they took turns with her. The Kennedy brothers. I know, right? You know, which is if two brothers do that at the same time with the same woman, that's a perversion. But there's not going to be anything like that. We're going to get lists. A lot of it's going to be redacted. She even talked about it there. So don't get all excited about these Epstein files. It's going to be a whole lot of nothing. Okay? And so many people have so much invested on that. Now, if something comes out, I'll be very happy if we get some information to show what kind of scumbags were hanging out with that creep. But no. All right, I got a sneeze coming, so we're going to break on time. We'll be right back. There.
From bursitis, tendinitis, sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, tears, post-surgery, pre-surgery, herniated disc, gout, bone on bone. If you can name the pain, most likely I've treated over the years. Most of my practice is laser with robotic lasers. They're robots which rotates constantly around the area, where most lasers do not do that. So if you want to come in for a free consultation, as always here, welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do all the treatment. You can bring your MRIs, you can bring your x-rays, you can bring your CAT scans, whatever you have, bring, you need to look at, I would do that free of charge.
Call Dr. Appleton right now for that free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com.
Come together for an electrifying concert experience celebrating the timeless music of the Fab Four. Rain, a tribute to the Beatles. Go on an extraordinary journey and relive the 60s in high definition with an unforgettable live performance full of nostalgia and good vibes. Rain, a tribute to the Beatles, a musical mystery tour that captivates and inspires all generations. Coming to the park Friday, March 7th. Tickets at parkplayhouse.com.
Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. I was been sabotaged lately on this program, and I'll tell you guys about it, and then I'll get back to the news because maybe I shouldn't tell this on the air, but I'm going to tell you. I have an addiction, okay, and it's coffee. Right? Talk about this. By the time the show is over, each morning at 9 o'clock, I've had 8 shots of espresso. I go to Starbucks. I get every day I get 2 venti hot blonde Americanos, and each of those has 4 shots of espresso in them. That's how it comes. You can have more at it if you're crazy. And I've been doing that for years. I've been hooked on coffee for my whole adult life, and it's gotten worse over the years. I've tried to give it up without success, and I've just given it up, and I depend on it. And I had noticed that in the mornings during the show, I wasn't getting quite that punch. And I thought I was building up a tolerance. And I was going to have to get a 5th shot at it. It comes with 4, but get a 5th shot at it. And I was talking to somebody about this, and they said, well, maybe they're just not putting the 4 shots in there. So I did a test, and I've been getting my Starbucks at a particular Starbucks. If you guys watch me on YouTube, I'm always at Starbucks, right? I mean, and on the weekends, on Saturday and Sundays, it's not unusual for me to go to Starbucks and live stream for an hour or so at Starbucks. They got like a little front area where you can sit down at tables, and they open up on Saturdays at 5:30 in the morning. On Sundays, open up at 6. There's very few people there, so I go there and I live stream in front of Starbucks, and I go to a couple of different Starbucks, and I rotate the Starbucks because I've had a couple of incidents with not nice listeners. I don't understand. So I rotate between a couple of different Starbucks, okay? So you never know which one I'm going to be at, because and I know it sounds like I think I'm self-important, but I've had people show up that are not pleasant, okay? And it's just okay. So I don't, I'm there by myself. But what happens is I go in the Starbucks, right? I get my coffee. And then I sit out front. This is on the weekends, Saturday and Sundays, and I do a live stream for an hour to 90 minutes wearing my MAGA hat. And the ones I go to and live stream from have drive-thrus. And in one of them, where I'm sitting in my MAGA hat, everyone that comes out of the drive-thru has to see my MAGA hat. They're facing me. They're coming around. They have to see the MAGA hat. And I get a lot of looks from people who think I'm a lunatic, and then there's some who say nice hat and everything else. But what I found is yesterday I went to a different Starbucks that I never go to and got my coffee, and I noticed during yesterday's show I could feel the caffeine again. So I don't have proof of this other than how I have felt, but they're not giving me the full dose of caffeine of any. There's got to be some, or I'd have withdrawals. But I went to another Starbucks that I never go to. I had a Trump shirt on, but I was wearing a jacket zipped up so they couldn't see it. And I left my MAGA hat in the car. But at the Starbucks where they know I'm there with my MAGA hat on, all of a sudden the coffee there, and I've been getting coffee there for years with no problems, but since I started live streaming there, I've not had the same caffeine effect. So, this is how liberals are. I can't prove it, but I can tell the difference between that. And liberals are just terrible people, and they think we are the intolerant ones. That's what really blows my mind. That's what they do. All right, so let me get back to the issues, and your calls are certainly welcome. There was a bizarre thing that happened with iPhones. Did you guys see this? Now, Tim Cook has made great deals with Trump. Tim Cook has pledged to spend $500 billion with a B to build manufacturing plants and create other jobs in multiple states throughout the United States for Apple because of the import taxes. They don't want to pay import taxes. And, yesterday, Alex Jones dropped something on X. I saw it, and I'm like, this can't be real. Until I did it on my phone and my wife's phone. You know how you have voice chat? You know, you can enable voice, and you can, on your iPhones, you can do your emails and texting by voice. I have it turned off because what I found, one time I was having a conversation with my wife in the car, and the whole conversation got texted to somebody. And luckily, we weren't talking about them. And so I turned that off on my phone, and recommend you do too. But because of what Alex Jones had put on X yesterday, I turned it on both of our phones, and I couldn't believe it. If you were to use voice text with your iPhone, this is the newer iPhones, by the way. I don't think it works on the older ones. And you say racist, Trump popped up. And then it would switch to racist. It would say Trump for just a minute. Now, sometimes we had to do it 2 or 3 times before it would do it, but it would come up. You say racist, and you'd see Trump just for a second. Then it would fade away, and the word racist would then pop up. My wife and I did this multiple times yesterday, both phones. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So now I'm reading this morning, Apple has fixed what they're calling a glitch that transcribes Trump when users say racist. This is in the populoustimes.com. Did any of you see this story yesterday and try it on your iPhone? Well, it's, they fixed that glitch. Apple has announced that it has fixed a so-called bug in its voice-to-text software that caused the word racist to be transcribed as Trump. When I saw Alex Jones doing that, I thought, no. And then I went and I got the phone. It didn't do it. And I said, it just did. It didn't do it. And my wife said, well, let me try it. She tried it. Third time it did it. So we had to do it sometimes 2, 3 times. Then it would do it. It didn't do it every time, but it still did it. The issue first gained attention after TikTok users noticed the error and shared viral videos demonstrating the glitch. Later, Alex Jones highlighted the problem in a video that he posted. The New York Post reported Apple is fixing a bug that caused its voice-to-text dictation software to mistakenly transcribe the word racist as Trump, the company said on Wednesday. The glitch, which was called out by users on TikTok and other social media platforms, occurred for certain words that include the R consonant. When users activated the transcription feature and said the word racist, the word Trump would briefly appear before it displayed the correct word. The AP covered the story. Apple is fixing a bug. It goes, this was not a bug, okay? This is a programmer who reprogrammed the voice dictation software in iPhones to do it. They thought it was funny. Somebody actually did this. And I don't know how these things work. Is this something that one person could do, or would it take multiple people to do this? This is not a bug, and it's not a glitch. This was something that was done on purpose. And I'm here to tell you, this is insane. There should be, I hate that word, but, I would like to see an investigation by Tim Cook on this. This is not a bug, Tim Cook. Not that he's listening, especially on the West Coast. This is crazy. And I don't know how many of you tried this, but if you see videos of it online, I'm here to tell you I did it many times yesterday on 2 phones. And my wife even did some screenshotting on her phone of it and kept it because we knew it would be corrected. But this was not a glitch. A programmer or a team of programmers did this. And I'm very curious. The reason I want an investigation is I want to know who did it, how many were involved, and when. Because we just heard about this. And I find it hard to believe that this has been there for a long time and people are just finding this out. So what I'm wondering, are there programmers at Apple who did this as a form of protest against Tim Cook going to Mar-a-Lago and making this deal with Trump? Liberals are terrible people. They're messing with my coffee. God only knows what else I've been drinking. I don't even want to know. Now the Starbucks I go to is so far out of my way to get coffee, you have no idea. Because this is one I've never been to live stream from and everything. So, you know, they don't know, you know. The other Starbucks, I guess they know me. I'm the MAGA guy, the live stream. So they, you know. I got suspicious of the coffee, not just because how I felt, but I went to a Starbucks on Sunday and they gave me coffee that was not drinkable. It tasted like chemicals, cleaning chemicals, and I took it back and had them switch it out. And the next cup didn't taste much better. I didn't even drink that. I left it there on the table. But anyway, they did refund me. I didn't have to pay for that. This needs to be found out, and I'll tell you why it needs to be found out. A message needs to be sent about how wrong this is, but also, you know, with Apple making this big deal to move all, you know, $500 million of their business away from, you know, China or wherever to the United States. If there's people inside the company that are saboteurs at this level, they could slow roll that and cause all kinds of problems. And I know I'm a big Apple. All my phones are Apple. My computers are all Apple. I don't even have a Windows machine. I might have one in the closet, you know, from an old laptop from 100 years ago. And I watch Apple TV. I got all that. So I'm like all Apple. But, you know, when you use tech, it's going to be liberals. But this is over the line. And for them to say this was a glitch that they fixed is just a lie. What else are they doing that we don't know about? They think this is funny. And for somebody to do this, this is high-level people inside the company to be able to change something at this level. This isn't some minor thing. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. 1 hour down, 2 to go. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back with your calls and much more after this.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Thursday morning and throughout the week, there will be a chance of showers with a high of 77 degrees. Thursday night, a slight chance of showers, then partly cloudy with a low of 64 degrees. Friday, a high of 74 degrees and mostly sunny, and then Friday night, it will be mostly clear with a low of 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
All right, got a lot to cover. Hey, are there any live reads, Mike? Okay.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Feel the love in the poker room this February. This week, play cash games every day with high hands every 20 minutes.
You know why is it Behind Enemy Lines or Bat 21? Was he in Bat 21?
Big money tournaments and table game action with Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker for just a
Is Owen Wilson in Behind Enemy Lines? Which one? Who was the main actor in those movies?
I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours in one of those big labs. That's why I go to any lab test now in Boca.
Who's the main actor in the one with Jean Hackman? Which one is it?
Their techs are highly skilled and professional.
Behind Enemy Lines? Who was the main guy in Behind Enemy Lines?
Appointments aren't necessary.
Okay, then it's not Behind Enemy Lines then. I'm thinking there's another one. There was another movie just like that. It might have been Bat 21. Who was the main guy in Bat 21? Yeah, Owen Wilson. Okay, so it's not Behind Enemy Lines. What was the movie just like that? It was Bat 21 was kind of like that. Who was the main guy in Bat 21? Does anyone remember?
Any lab test now at Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood. Lakewood by the Coral Square Mall. Call any lab test now of Boca at 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs number is 954-906-5983. And don't forget to mention that you heard about
They used to do this thing where they would have two movies out that were exactly the same. Right? And there was another movie just like Behind Enemy Lines about a down pilot. Was Owen Wilson an aircraft carrier pilot then? Do you remember in that movie? Danny Glover was in Bat 21, but who was the white guy in the Danny Glover in Bat 21? The white guy. Danny Glover was, yeah. But who was the white guy in that? One of them was a carrier pilot. Which one had the carrier pilot? Because there's a technical mistake in that movie at the very end, and it's like takes you out of the movie.
starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
It could be Behind Enemy Lines. I'll tell you in a bit when I'm talking about it. I can't remember what movie it was, though. All right, callers on hold, stand by. We're talking about Jean Hackman movies during the break. If you're just tuning in, Jean Hackman, his wife and dog, all found dead in his home. And that's why we're talking about Jean Hackman today. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
See? Always bet on Doug. You know, Doug, I got a ton of calls on the line. And, it's a funny thing. I almost went into the control room and said to Mike, let's see with all these calls on the phone if the first call I take randomly is Doug or not. And I wish I would have done that because, I would have won that one. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, lucky you. Anyway, I heard about that Trump thing going on for Apple, and I'm hoping that they'll find out who did this. If they're really serious, they're going to put all this money into the country. I'm sure that the heads of the company don't want some lowlife doing something like that.
Well, I'll tell you why. If whoever did this. Thanks for the call, Doug. If you're on hold, stand by. If you're just tuning in, I'll just mention it briefly. On iPhones yesterday, and I believe it was only the more recent models, if you put voice-to-text chat on and you said racist, Trump's name came up briefly, and then it faded to racist. That was some programming people at the top. That had to be multiple people. It was not a glitch. It was done on purpose. What else are they doing? And do they have access to all of our data? Who are these sickos that are at Apple that did that? They need to be found out. They cannot be trusted. But all our data's in this stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian.
Yes?
Hi, how are you? It's Laura. Listen, I'm calling about Jean Hackman because something very strange happened to me this weekend. When you said his name, it's horrible how he died. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go see because it sounds familiar, the name. So I went Google it and I see his face and I just saw him in the movie. And then I go check because this weekend we were bored, whatever, we wanted to see a movie. And it was the movie, my friend said, let's watch The Firm with Tom Cruise. I'm like, oh, listen, it's too old. Anyway, but we watched it. And I never seen that movie before. It's with Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
His lawyer, corrupt lawyer. I don't know if you have seen it.
Everybody's seen The Firm. Everybody's seen The Firm. Yeah, it's very big.
I really liked it. And then I go check because I wanted to make sure. And I put The Firm and I asked the actors, and there's Jean Hackman.
Yeah, he plays the lawyer. He plays the lawyer that's Tom Cruise's mentor, and they kill him. He gets killed by Wilford Brimley. Yes.
Yes, it was a great movie. Actually, I just saw it this weekend, and I am shocked because it's still on my mind. And now that he died like this, I have booked. I'm very. I don't know. It's strange. They killed him.
Who would come on? Who would? It could be. It could be carbon monoxide. It could be they left the gas stove on. It was Jean Hackman, Jean Hackman's wife, and dog. Well, dogs die from carbon monoxide and gas stoves too.
they saying? That's the
No. The police said they do not suspect foul play. They're not investigating it for foul play. So I just assume that. It's something like that. For all three of them and the dog?
I just saw the movie, and it's wow.
I mean, who would want to kill Jean Hackman? I mean, he hasn't even done a movie in 30 years, and he's 96. Who would want to do anything to him?
I don't know.
Okay. Nobody.
This firm and sit on it.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're probably not a big fan of the French Connection.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but
Is it with...
I don't know who made French Connection. I'm not sure. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. Okay, now there was another story that came out about the NSA sex chat rooms. Okay, did you guys hear this story? And I got a question about this, and I know everyone's talking about it, and they have fired those involved, which is not enough. But let me just read this perversion a little bit, and then I'll tell you something that I have been asking myself about this story. I haven't. It's been out for a few days. I haven't gotten to it, but I wanted it until now. Here's the headline: Leaked trans sex chats on NSA's IntelliLink expose abuse of federal resources to advance ideology. That's the headline. Shocking details have emerged about intelligence agencies' preoccupation with woke policies and how they misused the NSA's government Interlink platform to, I'm reading slow in case there's some inappropriate words, to discuss intimate topics, including genital castration, artificial vaginas. This is the NSA. Can I say artificial vagina? Okay, it's clinical. The next one I can't say. Oh boy. No, I can't say that one. I don't know what that word means, so I'm not going to say that. Oh, and the last thing I can't say that one either. This is some hardcore sickos here at the NSA. While intelligence employees agreed to refrain from publishing non-mission critical information on the Interlink platform, they did not shy away from using the platform to discuss intimate sexual experiences. And it goes on, but there was a lot, very graphic stuff about transgender sex and things. And this is what I'm wondering about this. I believe that all social media was created by the deep state, okay? Long before the internet existed, the government had their own internet. It was called the intranet, and it was an internet for the government. And when Al Gore ran for president long ago, he kept saying, I invented the internet. I invented the internet. People laughed at him. But what he's a clown. And remember, he had a problem with the prostitutes and the masseuses in the hotel rooms after he lost the presidential election? Oh, boy. Made Lewinsky look like nothing compared to what he was doing. Al Gore. But remember that with the hookers and the masseuse? Oh, my goodness. Al Gore. But what Al Gore meant by inventing the internet is what they did is they took the government intranet system and released it to everybody as the internet as we know it today. And Facebook and all this stuff, I believe, was created by the government. I believe they're all fronts for the government. Twitter used to be, not anymore since Elon has it, but you guys know what I mean. And now they have listening devices in all of our rooms of every house. We gladly buy them. They track all of our movements through the phones and social media. That's it. I mean, you guys have all seen this. You're having a private conversation, then you open up Instagram, and all of a sudden there's ads on Instagram advertising the thing you were just talking about. It happens on all the platforms. So they're always listening. So this is what the NSA is behind all this stuff, deeper than we know. They have what they have the ability to do is beyond imagination. Now, I know this sounds like crazy conspiracy stuff, okay? But I'm going to share it with you before we break. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll go to the calls after the break, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. A couple of years ago, when all this trans stuff started, I talked about this a lot. I believed it was being spread by TikTok, which was China, and that China was using TikTok to advance the trans agenda to try to undermine the United States. Now I think all this trans stuff was made popular through our friends at the NSA. You know, the things that they were talking about was graphic, very graphic transgender sex things. And they have the ultimate power over all the internet and all the computers and everything. And the reason that the trans stuff became so popular, I believe, it started with younger people. Things online on all the different social media platforms, not just TikTok, but on all social media platforms, if people started doing trans stuff, all of a sudden they had 1 million followers, their content was pushed to the front, and they were becoming famous, and it was made a trending thing online, and then that led to it being like people really doing it. And now when I see the trans perversions that I can't even read on the radio, even though they're in the news, from the transgendered sex chats at the NSA, at the upper level with the people that have the highest security clearances of, that the government has. I mean, super secret stuff, like they have access to things even the president wouldn't know about. And I'm wondering if they're the ones, not China, that push this trans agenda through the internet, make it into a trending thing that caused this whole phenomena of transgenderism that's been going on the last few years. I know that sounds nuts, and maybe it is, but all of a sudden you wake up one morning and then this trans thing is the latest fad. I think there's a lot more to this NSA trans sex chat ring than just a bunch of perverts chatting amongst themselves. I think they took it to another level. What level, I don't know, but they have something to do with it becoming a fad in this country. I'm sorry. I believe that's probably why Hooters is closing down. A lot of people talking about Hooters. You know, Hooters, they're closing down. They've turned so many men gay and trans through all this stuff, they're not interested in Hooters. They're disgusted by Hooters. Yeah. They've destroyed a generation with this stuff. And there's more to this NSA ring than meets the eye. And there's no way that they don't have some responsibility for this transgender fad that's been going on. I'm going to make sure I emphasize the D, fad that's been going on the last couple years. And they certainly are mentally unstable. I mean, the NSA, I mean, if they have people at the NSA that are doing this, that have access to all the computers and all the socials and everything, you don't think they would take that agenda and push it through? Or am I nuts? Maybe I am. I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our first break of the hour and be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon, one of the DJs here at the True Oldies channel. Hope you're enjoying the Kane Show with Brian. And we want to remind you that at 10 this morning, the oldies are back. The greatest hits of the 60s and 70s right here on the True Oldies channel.
This is your time. Your time to really focus on wellness. Wellness of mind, body and spirit. Amrit Ocean Resort is now open on Singer Island, a next-generation luxury wellness resort merging Eastern principles and Western luxury. The 4-story wellness spa is like nothing you've experienced before. Hydrothermal water therapy, hot and cold pools, steam, sauna room, inhalation salt therapy chamber, and Arctic chill fountains, all designed to detox and relax. All located on picture-perfect beaches and impressive facilities of Amrit Ocean Resort. Face and body treatments, including Reiki experiences, reflexology and massage. Explore all available offers at amritocean.com. That's AMRITocean.com.
Hey, my true oldies listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. Are you looking for a retirement advisor you don't trust and experience or too big qualities to look for? And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or, even simpler, you can go to jupiterjoe.com. Mention my name, John Tesh. You'll receive a free copy of Joe's book, Retirement Know It All. Great book. Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com.
Then, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to feel it. At the Bio Station in West Del Rey, Dr. Mitch Cortez, an expert in hormone replacement therapy, is here to help you reclaim your youth. Hormone replacement therapy is all natural and can restore your hormones to where they were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, have more energy, and even get your sex drive. And for women, hormone replacement pellet therapy can completely stop and reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. No more mood swings, better sleep, and no more night sweats. Call Dr. Cortez for a free consultation today at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we're back, and if you're on hold standby, I want to tell you guys about Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, been a customer there, I don't know, maybe 20 years now, at least 15. You know, you will not find new tires lower anywhere else. Yeah, I make a big deal of this every time because you got to understand this. When you call Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire and he gives you a quote on tires, that is out the door and on the road. There are no added charge. He doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tires. And he has to pay somebody to take the old tires away. I was shocked. I thought it was recyclable, you know, material, and some guy was glad to take them. No, he has to pay per tire, and it's not a little tiny bit of money either. But when he gives you a quote over the phone, that is out the door and on the road. Doesn't charge you to mount the tire, bounce the tire, or even dispose of your old tire. You can get tires for any type of vehicle, no matter if you have large commercial vehicles, you know, huge trucks. We have listeners that own companies that have cement mixers, okay, and they get tires there. Or, you know, just have a tiny little car. And he has all the name brands you know and love, Firestone, Pirelli, Bridgestone, whatever you like he's got. If you have run flats like I do on one car, great deals on run flats. He also has thousands of used tires in stock as well. But the new tires are so inexpensive. And if you don't have, you know, you can save up, buy two at a time, because the new tires are so inexpensive. He also does tire repairs, which other tire shops do not. Give him a call, 954-977-9445, 954-977-9445. Make sure you tell him that I sent you. He'll take extra good care of you, 954-977-9445. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jerry from Margate.
Hey, what's up, Margate?
Oh, my favorite Jean Hackman movie is Enemy of the State.
Really? Out of all of his movies, who else is in that? I forgot. Is that who's in that with him?
African-American guy.
Is that the one with Will Smith? Why is Enemy of the State your favorite Gene Hackman movie? That's I'm shocked to hear that.
Really? Oh, it's a great movie. And it's got a little conspiracy in it. Talks about the NSA monitoring you and all kinds
Yeah, maybe it's more relevant today. If I were to see it today, maybe it would mean more to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just like it.
Okay, all right, appreciate it. Yeah, Gene Hackman just died. That's why we're talking about Gene Hackman under very strange circumstances. Okay, so the Pentagon has released. I want to read this. This is the statement from the Pentagon. Okay, the Department of Defense has issued a new policy that will exclude transgender individuals with gender dysphoria from military service unless they obtain a specific waiver. The policy, detailed in a memo dated the 7th of this 2023, mandates that military leaders identify and medically separate. Is that right? 23? Was that a typo? I'm confused. The policy, detailed in a memo dated February 7th, 2023, mandates that military leaders identify and medically separate, that's got to be 2025. That's got to be a typo. Mandates the military leaders identify and medically separate these service members within 30 days. Criteria for obtaining a waiver include demonstrating 36 consecutive months of stability in one's identified gender, and no significant distress or occupational impairment due to gender dysphoria. This policy aims to align with military standards that recognize only two sexes, male and female. Okay, now I want to tell you, President Trump and Pete Hegseth are so smart, okay? One day when the book of this administration is written by President Trump or somebody really at the top level, and they tell us all the planning that went into this second term, it's going to be fascinating. Now, they said they've had to demonstrate 36 consecutive months, so that's 3 years. Most of the trans people in the military have not been trans that long. Get it? So instead of just really sending out an order, no trans people, you're out, okay, and they got to go around identifying them, they have to demonstrate that they, for 3 years, have been able to not have problems with this gender and do their job, which is very difficult with all the medicines they have to take and such. So the reason that is because when Bill Clinton, when he ran for president the first time, he ran on the promise of gays openly serving in the military. Remember that? And then when he became president, the generals weren't woke then. These were guys from the 50s and 60s. They went to college in the 50s and 60s, and they didn't like any of that stuff. And the generals and the admirals had a revolt against Bill Clinton. And then they came up with the don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask, don't tell that you're gay. Don't ask if someone's gay, and if you are, don't tell anyone, and you can serve. And there were some high profile, there was one in particular, I remember, a sailor who was court-martialed because he told that he was gay. He got court-martialed. There was a very high profile thing on television, not of the case because it's a federal case, but in and out of the courtroom. And, and they don't want to have however many people. They don't want to have all these court cases. So they've come up with this standard that applies to everyone, and they're all going to get phased out. Now, there are probably people that have been trans longer than that, but not many. There cannot be many. So it's a clever way to bring in the policy, get these people out of the service, make it apply to everybody without having these isolated incidents like the don't ask, don't tell thing did. If you guys remember that. Remember those high-profile cases? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's Taj.
Hey, Taj.
Hey, I was just as stunned as everybody learning about Jean Hackman. He's one of my favorite actors.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
And like two of my favorite movies of his was Class Action from the 90s. It was a good kind of law drama.
That is Class Action. What was obviously about a class action lawsuit? Who was in that? He did all these legal movies. He did 3 legal movies that maybe 4. The Firm, Class Action, Narrow Margin, and wasn't he in the one about the jury that got fixed? There was another one. It was in New Orleans. I can't remember the name of that movie either. Okay. What was the other one you liked?
Yeah. The other one was a Western called Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood.
Everybody's seen Unforgiven. That movie's awesome. Yeah.
It's two of my favorites. But just him and his wife and dog were found dead. And
yep.
It makes me wonder if it was like a from like a heater.
Something like that. It's got to be. That's why I do not like gas. I don't want any gas in my home. I would not live in a home that had gas. Wouldn't.
Well, I mean, he was a great one. I just rest in peace. Like, I know he was retired from acting, but he was writing some books in the later years. But what a great guy.
Yeah, he was. All right, take care. Well, a terrible way to go. Although maybe you just kind of fall asleep or go in your sleep. So, it's just sad. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. See, Mike, people love Jean Hackman. I know. It's crazy. People love Jean Hackman. The guy has not made a movie since 1990-something, and people still, love him. And some of the movies people are coming up with, Unforgiven's, but some of the movies people are coming up with are sleepers that I'd either forgotten about or didn't even know about. And I thought I knew all of his movies. All right, let's take our break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with Amazing Brian. Just a reminder that at 10 this morning, we're back to the rock and roll music on the True Oldies channel.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast. Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now,
Behind Enemy Lines was after Heist. I thought Heist was his last movie. It was not. They count on movies The Replacements.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime in the paddock. Check out the exciting lineup with fabulous dinner shows like Splish Splash, the musical
Okay.
air on March 14th, Meeting and Patrick Putty Warburton March 20th, the Peter Zeppelin Experience March 21st, Simply Tina on April 11th, and more. The paddock is also your best bet for great food, super OTV, and sports action with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For tickets and info, go to bbkennelclub.com.
This is Dr. Phil Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections.
He was also in Bat 21. I thought so. He's in Behind Enemy Lines and Bat 21. Oh, No Way Out. Forgot about it. No Way. I'm going to go through some of this on the air.
There's no injections, there's no medication, there's no surgery, there's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta, private second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades. We're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations.
Take this special time to recognize and salute the men and women in uniform who are standing tall for political and economic freedom around the world. Let's remember them during this In our thoughts, prayers, and most importantly, our letters and care packages from home. Their efforts abroad and in the U.S. will keep America strong. This message is courtesy of Pillar Pro Wash, serving the community with pride and integrity. That's Pillar Pro Wash, on the air because they care.
Scott here from CutMyKilowatts.com. We are an energy saving and insulation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $14,000 per year. Funds available on a first-come, first-served basis. Rebate programs for low or moderate income families up to $150,000 of income. $14,000 per year. This is huge. You can use this money for insulation and radiant barrier. Up to $2,800 available. Hybrid hot water heaters up to $3,750 available. AC units up to $10,000 available. Electric panel upgrades up to $6,600. And after we reduce your home consumption by 35% or more, you get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or go to cutmykilowatts.com and fill out the form.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 40.
All right. We'll go back to the phones. Quite a bit, but people are Jean Hackman focused today, which I get. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, brother. Brian, IB.
Hey, IB.
That's pretty sad, man. You and I have something in common. I remember when I was in 5th or 6th grade, and this girl I like named Sophie was talking about getting a poster signed from Christopher Reeves, and I'm like, who's Christopher Reeves? Well, the guy who plays Superman, and I was only like 6 or 7 at the time. And Superman has always been my favorite movie with Jean Hackman because it reminds me of my innocence, and that movie never gets old for me. So that's one of my
what do you hold on? Now, this is an interest. It sounds like something out of a novel. I liked Superman the movie, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor, and it's very good. You remember who plays Otis? Who plays Otis?
Ned Beatty.
That's right, Ned Beatty. I just think it's a bad movie. I was going to say a bad something movie. I can't say that on the air. I think it's a great movie. It's an awesome movie. But you said it reminds you of your innocence. That sounds like something like in a novel or a movie. What does that mean? When you say it reminds you of your innocence, what specifically are you reminded of? That's a strange thing to say.
Well, like I said, there was this girl named Sophia Wilson, and I didn't know who Christopher Reeves.
It doesn't sound like you were having innocent thoughts towards this young girl in your class. Sounds like you were having naughty thoughts, not so innocent thoughts.
Brian, she's the one that made me become aware of who Christopher Reeves was, and
It's Christopher Reeve. Reeves was the Superman. You said Reeves. George Reeves, Christopher Reeve, no S. Reeves.
Yeah, that's George.
The Superman from the TV show, George Reeves, the guy that was murdered by his wife, that was Reeves. You're thinking of Reeve.
Right. But Christopher Reeve, okay, without the S, okay, is when that was my innocent time, and back in those days, movies were made very nice and more like innocent rather than all the bang crazy.
In that movie, I'll argue with anybody about anything, but Superman the movie, okay, the first scene when you see Gene Hackman, okay, his Otis kills a cop, gets him run over by the subway. That's I'm so shocked they had that for kids, and then Otis goes into the secret lair of Lex Luthor, and he's got that bimbo girlfriend with the boobs hanging out all over the place. That's not an innocent kids movie. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Talking about the era in which it came out when I was innocent, and I remember the movie from my innocence.
Yeah, Miss Tessbacher, yes.
And a friend of mine was getting an actual poster. I didn't even know you could do those kinds of things. I was in the Bahamas back then, by the way.
Oh, you're from the Bahamas? All right, IB, take care. I appreciate the call. The reason I talk about Gene Hackman, Steve's going to kill me talking about Gene Hackman, but I can't. Hey, it's sometimes what this is what happens. Okay, I open the show talking about Gene Hackman because I think like everybody loves Gene Hackman. And he's died under these just sad, bizarre circumstances. Jean Hackman, his wife and dog, all found dead in their house. No foul play involved. And every time I go to a call, I talked about it in the beginning. Everyone wants to talk about Jean Hackman. And what happens a lot of times when you're doing a call-in talk show like this, the audience, it's like a freight train. You know, you try to change the subject from what people want to talk about. You're getting in front of or maybe I should use another example. It's like getting in front of the bright line, okay? You know how that turns out. But I was very surprised. I'm going through, because people are naming these movies, and I thought I saw every Gene Hackman movie, and I thought Heist was his last movie. He did a whole bunch of movies after that, but there was another one that I forgot about that somebody just texted me about. Tom Laporta from Laporta Contracting and Roofing texted me. I forgot. Get Shorty. Remember Get Shorty? He was in Get Shorty. Everybody's seen The Firm and Unforgiven. Postcards from the Edge. He was in a lot of great movies. Mississippi Burning. Remember he played the FBI, one of the FBI agents in Mississippi Burning. And I was surprised he's in both Behind Enemy Lines and Bat 21, which are kind of like the same movie. He was, and Superman, of course. But, I mean, it's sad. It's sad. But, maybe that's the better way to go. You just kind of like fall asleep with the guy. I hope that's what happened. 96 years old. Gene Hackman. All right, I'll try to get the show back on track of talking about issues, but I don't think that's going to really be too possible. But it could be possible. It is possible, but I don't know if it'll be possible. But I'm going to try. Another thing, though, I do want to mention, and this is important. What President Trump has done, he's done so many great things. But if you notice that cabinet meeting yesterday that turned into an awesome press conference was really all about Elon Musk and Doge and what they're doing. And this panic that's going on right now in Washington over these layoffs, they have these fake town halls all over America that the Democrats have been staging and paying for, where there are MAGA people that are outraged that government workers are being fired. And I got news for you. The only people that have sympathy for the government workers being fired are the government workers, especially the federal government. The American people have been so abused at every government office they've ever been to, because within the government, they are rude to you. They just don't care. You ever been to the post office? The post office is the best example because that's where most of us deal with the federal government employees that they're griping about. They're nasty, rude, hostile at the post office. I hate going. I have to go every once in a while, and you keep your mouth shut. They're Nazis. I mean, like the soup Nazis. They're like Nazis. They're just rude. I've seen postal workers yell at customers, and they don't care. What are you going to do? Complain? Report them? They're not going to get fired. Federal employees are abusive. Abusive. Okay? And, you look, and they think that people have sympathy. No one has sympathy for them. No one has sympathy for the federal workers. And you know what? It's deserved. People not having sympathy for them, it's deserved. I'll give you one of the worst examples of federal workers out of control. Remember when Obama was president, all these veterans who were dying at the VA because they weren't getting treated? Remember that? And I believe that I found what was going on. I talked about this on the air at the time. I noticed there were all these, you would see a veteran's family come on where grandpa or dad or the husband would die because they needed a life-saving surgery at the VA and they didn't get it in time and they died. And then I noticed there were a bunch of high-profile cases. And then I noticed all the veterans that died were white. I noticed it at first. I didn't say anything because there were so many of these cases in the news, and then I finally talked about it. There was not during that time. There was not a single non-white veteran who died during that time from not getting treatment. They were all white. And then something dawned on me. A light bulb went off over my head, and I shared it with you guys in the audience, and this is what I said. I said, I think there's a black racist serial killer at the VA. The military has a lot of non-white people in it. Why are the only veterans dying white from not getting treatment, getting put to the bottom of the list? The federal employees that are the appointment setters are putting the white veterans to the bottom, is what I suspected. Now, this has never been proven. Nobody investigated it like this, and nobody called that out. But at the time when that was happening in the news, every veteran that died for being put to the bottom of the life-saving surgery list was white. And the federal government has an overrepresentation of non-white workers in it. And I suspected at the time, and I talked about it on the air. And you know what? I stand by that theory today. At that time. You ever have to go through TSA? Half the TSA are perverts that are looking at the women on the scanners. How many times have you heard that? Nothing happens. They're federal employees. Or they're just nasty to you, and you take it, and you suck it up, and you keep your mouth shut because you'll get sit in a room for 6 hours and mess up your life and get on a list. So the federal workers have been abusive of the American people all of our lives for decades, and they're not going to get any. I'm sorry, they're on TV, and they don't understand why people don't have sympathy. The reason is because you're sadistic, nasty, and abusive to people. And the American people hate federal workers. Hate federal workers. That's it. You know? All those nasty postal workers that have been rude to us. How many of you have had to go to your Social Security office? Oh, boy. When have you had an interaction at a government office, federal government, when they were pleasant and helpful? Never. And the reason that is two reasons. One, there's no accountability and you can't do anything about it because they work for the federal government. And two, federal workers, now this isn't, I'm not talking about, even at the local levels you see a lot of this, but we're talking about federal workers. Federal workers think they are so full of themselves. Every once in a while you'll hear them say this. Federal workers will tell you that they answered President Kennedy's call to public service. And they think that they're a better class of person. Remember you guys ever see, I'm sure many of you have seen the movies, as we're talking about movies, Starship Troopers. You should read the book. It's incredible. In Starship Troopers, in the book, and the movie too, to be a citizen, you had to be a veteran. You had to serve in the military to earn your citizenship. Federal workers believe that the only true citizens of America are the federal workforce. That the rest of us are not even worthy. No one cares about them. Everybody hates them. And they brought it upon themselves. So they can have these fake town hall meetings. No one's going to shed a tear for a federal worker. All right. What are we doing here, Mike? Okay. We're going to take a break in a moment and check in with Attorney Barry Siegel. If you're on hold, hang in there. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. You're welcome to call in about anything I've brought up since 6 a.m. I know I brought a lot up, and I know a lot of people have Jean Hackman on their mind. That's fine, too. 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are calling from. You got them ready, or are we going to do... what are we going to do? Okay, do we got them? Okay, I need to know, because I'll do a spot, or I'll take a break. Okay, we're going to go to Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. All right. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning, Barry. Great. You know, I was talking yesterday. We had just an incredible turnout at the workshop. the other day in Boca, and that was the first one of your workshops I have been to in a long time. And I found it, I don't know, you may not agree with this because it doesn't sound interesting, a revocable living trust workshop. Yeah, I was fascinated by it. And I thought you put on a pretty entertaining presentation too. You've done so many now. It's like, it was very interesting. And as much as you and I talk, I learned a ton of stuff.
Good to hear that. Yeah, we had a great turnout. It was great to see you there, and glad you found it entertaining and educational. That's what we're really trying to, we're trying to take a subject that's not easy to deal with.
Exactly.
Disability issues. It's not something that people want to really spend their morning doing when there's so many other things they could be doing. But that's really what ends up happening. We put our time and energy in making plans for the weekend, what our next vacation is going to be. Those are good things to time on and important, but what about the bigger issues? Your assets, your protecting your assets, protecting the people you love, having the peace of mind that you have the right people in the right seats to handle things for you when that time comes, to make sure that everything that you leave to your loved ones is protected. Yeah, it's not as much fun as planning where you're going this summer, where you're going in Europe or whatever it might be, but it's super important, and so you need to know certain things, and there's some information there that can make a difference between protecting everything and losing everything. So that's why people come. We actually have one today in West Palm Beach, and we're expecting a nice size group of people for that one as well, so we're excited about that. And it was great to see you on.
Yeah, it was great, and we don't have time today, but I told you that we really, you did part of your presentation was about the Medicaid planning, and I know we talk about it, but we got to talk about that more because you made a good point. People hear Medicaid, and all of a sudden their hands go over theirs. Oh, I'm not poor, so that's not for me. And that's what I learned from you is that's not true. And that almost everybody qualifies for Medicaid for long-term care and nursing home care. Maybe we could talk about that tomorrow because I was really fascinated. I mean, you're saving families in ways that I'm sure are greatly appreciated by clients with the Medicaid planning. It's amazing.
For sure. Happy to talk about it on our call tomorrow. And we're also working on bringing back our Medicaid seminars as well. A lot of people have been asking for that, so
yeah,
do some Medicaid and some other topics as well coming up in the next.
Yeah, long-term care and nursing home care bankrupts families. I mean, families sell mom and dad's house to pay for it, and it pays for just a few months, and it doesn't have to be that way. Well, what you have done with Medicaid planning is you could probably have a whole practice just based on that. I know you do other things with the elder law. But that what you do with the Medicaid planning, I know all about it from talking to you, but I was blown away when you went through your presentation on it. So those of you that have not been to Attorney Barry Siegel's workshops, there's one today in Palm Beach. Go to one. It'll be very much worth your time. Give the Siegel Law Group a call. Now, it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group. If you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program, the number's toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. All right, there's 2 openings on the board, so let's take these in the order in which they were received. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? I hear myself in the background. Okay, you're on the air. Once, twice. All right, they put the phone down. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Turn the volume down in the background. There you go.
Yeah, take me. No, I didn't know yet. Hold on. Come on.
That's okay.
I got it on the computer.
We're very laid back down here. Mute the computer. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jean Hackman movie is Frenchie from Stewart.
Hey, Frenchie.
Jean Hackman movie. If you like World War II movies, he stayed in The Bridge Too Far.
I can still hear the background. Yeah, that one goes way back. A Bridge Too Far. Yeah.
whole bunch of good stars in it. Sean Connery. There were so many, too many to name.
Yeah.
But
you know the thing. Listen. Jean Hackman was 96. What I saw when I was doing my show prep and I went in the news, the first thing I saw was a story about Jean Hackman, and I was like, oh, he died. I didn't even read it because I knew he died, and I went and did my stuff. And then like a couple hours later, I said, oh, let me read it. And then when I saw the circumstances in which he died, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I got to talk about this. I mean, we don't usually just talk about celebrities dying. But his wife, and dog found dead in his home. It's just, it's bizarre and sad. Especially to one of the last great American actors. Because there aren't that many anymore.
Him, Eastwood, and John Wayne.
John Wayne is no Jean Hackman.
No.
Not a lot of range. Not a lot of range there with John Wayne. There's a difference between, like Tom Cruise. I like Tom Cruise, but he plays Tom Cruise in everything. Tom Hanks plays Tom Hanks in everything, right? He doesn't, All right, take care. All right, good call. Appreciate it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, this is Wellington. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, about the federal workers. I mean, we can all feel sorry for one individual or somebody that we might know, but the way I'm looking at it is that you can't even get rid of these teachers half the time, or some corrupted individual like Robert Runcie, or if you go back as far as what happened in Parkland and all of these people that were involved from getting moved by Obama and all these other people that were made who they are and where they got to because of whoever put them there, and the problem is that we've had so much of the private institutions taken over by the federal government between education, Medicare, Medicaid, Obamacare.
Well, this is the thing with the federal workers, and Vindman, I heard say this on Rachel Maddow's show, or it might have been somebody else. It was on MSNBC. He talked about how he joined the military and the NSA because he answered President Kennedy's call to public service. They all think that, and they think that they are the true Americans, and we're not because we don't work for the federal government. They are the nastiest, most arrogant federal workers group, especially the ones in the D.C. area, in the nation. They're terrible and they're abusive to us.
I agree. When I went to D.C. for the first time ever in my life, I got treated like a person from a different country almost.
I mean, look at these Capitol Police. The one guy weighed 800 pounds, couldn't even walk. I mean, these people couldn't get. How can you be a cop and look like these guys?
Some of what these people don't know is that the overshadowing of the government, that kind of model has already been done in China and all these other places where they get overloaded with people that just look at the rest of the population as if they're serfs. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. They're a class of people, and look what they've been doing. They've been stealing from the government in this organized family thing they got going on with USAID.
Right, and if you go back in even England's lineage, all of their time frame of who their leaders were, they've enriched themselves throughout all of history. So we're not going to act like we don't see what can happen if you allow.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if I've shared this. My wife had one of my wife's friends. One of her parents is retired. They worked for the federal government. And a few months before COVID, they told us, they said, something's coming. Be prepared. I don't know if I mentioned that on the air. But they said that there was some type of memorandum. I'm not saying I'm just telling you, a few months before the lockdowns, and they sent word to us to, something's coming. Be prepared.
As well, it was kind of easy to see that they were scheming to get themselves rich through that as well. Because people like Nancy Pelosi, people like all of these Schumers and what's the guy from California, Schiff, all these people, they enrich themselves through the stock market and all the insider trading. And if they can't stop that kind of stuff, and they're not going to dig.
And then look, textbook example. President Trump signs an executive order, no more funding for the migrants, and then that lady sends $60,000 to New York. Like, what are you going to do to me? I'll work for the government.
million, 60 million.
From FEMA. Yeah, did I say 1,000? Yes, 60 million. She sent 60 million to New York right after the president signed the order from FEMA. 60 million. And her attitude was, hey, I work for the federal government. What are you going to do, Trump?
Their arrogance and everything, because let's just say that 2020 wasn't stolen. When we raised the question one time in all of history,
they believe that this is exactly how now it's mostly the DC federal workers, okay, but they believe that they are the true American citizens, and we are not.
When Biden tried to field offices all over the country with Secret Service, they can go after.
Yeah, that's right. Listen, I got to run, but you make good points. I want to tell everyone about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. Oh, this was great. Yesterday, I get a notification on my phone. I'm in my bedroom. There's movement in front of my house. I look, and it's a salesman. He comes up. I don't even know if you're going to hear this. He comes up to the door and he goes, just like like a little like it'd be a friend. And I could see him on the key. He was trying to trick me. He was trying to trick me like it was a friend of mine, or maybe my wife, or if I had a son, maybe my son trying to get in. It was a trick knock. But I could see him on the doorbell camera on my phone. I'm like laughing. I watched him give up and walk across the street, and my neighbor opened the door. You can get a free doorbell camera that connects to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. You get the camera for free. That's not all. Sloman's, they're going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, a lifetime warranty, and backup battery. Plus, you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call, toll-free, 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. We'll be back with your calls and Steve Kane. Our number, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back after our top of the hour break.
From the All-Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
This Thursday, we're at around the neighborhood, good chance of showers with a high of 77 degrees. Thursday, a slight chance of showers.
Oh, yeah.
64 degrees. Friday, a high of 74 degrees and mostly sunny. And then Friday night will be mostly clear with a low of 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All-Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All-Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Stalled vehicle on the turnpike northbound at Indiantown Road. An accident Lakeworth Road at Lyons Road.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Feel the love in the poker room this February. This week, play cash games every day with high hands every 20 minutes and get an entry into the $10,000 cash drawing this Saturday. Plus, check out the Bad Beat Jackpots, daily big money tournaments, and table game action with Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker for just a $5 minimum bet 7 days a week. For more information, go to our website at bbkennelclub.com.
Hi, it's Brian Craig. Let me ask you this. Are you planning on retiring in the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, at any point in your life? Or are you already retired? Listen, economically, it's a mess with the stock market ups and downs.
Steve, you there?
In fact, it's the highest of
Yeah, I got you. You're there. You're there.
for your retirement plans. You need the advice of a retirement expert who can help you protect your money, guarantee your income, and stop losing money. Joe Thomas is
We'll be on in 2 minutes. Okay? Okay.
Seen it all and is a true professional that you can trust. They're family owned and operated. His daughter Jenny works with him. You know Joe and Jenny from right here on True Oldies. He's the host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show, and he's been doing that for over a decade. You need Jupiter Joe's book, The Retirement Millionaire.
Are you there, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we got 2 minutes. Hold on.
Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999. That's 561-743-0999. Take advantage of his free phone consultation too. Go to jupiterjoe.com or call 561-743-0999.
Scott here from CutMyKilowatts.com. We are an energy saving and insulation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $14,000 per year. Funds available on a first-come, first-served basis. Rebate programs for low to moderate income families up to $150,000 of income. $14,000 per year. This is huge. You can use this for
You're on hold. Hang in there.
radiant barrier, up to $2,800 available. Hybrid hot water heaters, up to $3,750 available. AC units, up to $10,000 available. Electric panel upgrades, up to $6,600. And after we reduce your home consumption by 35% or more, you get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or go to cutmykilowatts.com and fill out the form.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now with Boca and any lab test now with Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years in the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 944-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone. I deal with used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
All right. Callers on hold, stand by. The third hour has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve. Well, it's not a good morning if your name's Jean Hackman. Oh, my goodness. Did you see how he died? It had the gas stove, probably. Carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. Oh my goodness, that's awful. That's what comes from the car. I guess is if there's a. So it was the carbon monoxide comes from the car. It's not like you left the stove on without it burning, right? That's from a car exhaust, like you put the car in the garage. You know, but I got it. Yes. Well, this is the thing, Steve. This is the thing. This is how the very exciting things are going on. Don't lose your train of thought. But whenever I go to the phones, people just want to talk about Jean Hackman. He's like the most beloved American actor. But I mean, so I'm sure no matter what I've brought up today, it always goes back to Jean Hackman when we go to the phones. But we'll see. We'll see. So what did you have there? What are you excited about? On what? On what? Oh, that I'm not worried about. That I'm not worried about. How could it not be? We control everything. It should be. That should even be a. Because we've got real Republicans instead of a bunch of fake rhinos that are on the take. But whatever happens in Ukraine, the left are going to tell us that Putin got everything we wanted and he made a deal with Putin. And what does Putin have on Trump? That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. That's right. Well, let's take some of these calls. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
All right.
Oh, good. I didn't know if it was me or not.
That's you.
My name is Brian also. I'm in Delray Beach. I just wanted to say about Jean Hackman. I'm sorry.
See, told you. No, don't be sorry. See, I told you, Steve. People love Jean Hackman. Well, let him finish. He's been on hold for 45 minutes.
I just want to say French Connection, he was the best, man.
Yeah.
True story. And his name was Popeye Doyle.
That's right. That's right.
You got to watch that movie again. The lines in that movie, you would be unbelievable.
Oh, really? Give me one. Give me one of the. Give me a line that'll blow my mind.
Oh, he goes, are you shoot? Are you can your toes in the
Oh, okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Yes.
you know?
I bet you that's probably Hunter Biden's favorite movie scene. All right, appreciate the call. Take care. See, I told you, Jean Hackman is loved. He hasn't made a movie in like 20 years, but everybody loves him. You know, what are you gonna do? But I'll tell you though, Steve, there's a couple things though that are happening today. One, the Epstein files. And I'm telling you guys, there's going to be nothing interesting in those Epstein. I saw Pam. Did you see Pam Bondi on with Jesse Waters last night? She's got nothing. I mean, we're going to get a list of names. There's going to be a lot of redactions and maybe some flight logs. I'm sure I told you this yesterday. She made it's a campaign promise, okay, to release the Epstein files. So they got to be released. But she was with Trump a couple days ago, and she made him. You know, I love Pam Bondi. We all love Pam Bondi. She's been out of politics for a while. Okay, so she's rusty, a little rusty on the politics, and she's a local girl, right? She's a Florida girl, so she's a little rusty, and she's on the national stage. And she was sitting next to Trump 2 days ago. And she was bragging to President Trump about something she's doing to take guns away from people. And she actually said, police will take guns away while they investigate this person. And she said it, and I could tell President Trump was like, oh my goodness. You know, he was like, what are you doing? But he was going with it. He was going with it. And then later that day, all of a sudden, the Epstein list is coming out. So I think she did it to kind of get that, so that there wasn't a dialogue with her with, the gun talk. It's going to be what Van Jones would call a nothing burger. It's going to be a list of names. There may be some new names, and a lot of redactions, because she said no, there's not going to be any videotape. There's not going to be any audio tape. There's not going to be any photographs. There's going to be nothing. And it's going to, you know, and so many conservatives have put everything in that. And the reason there's going to be nothing is now Epstein, I'm sure, had blackmail material on all these people, videos and photos and audio tapes and everything else. But when they raided his mansions around the world, they took all of that stuff, and it's not left in files. So while there may be new names we've never heard of before, there's not going to be anything that's going to send anybody to jail. And I hope I'm surprised, because I'd like to see these creeps and perverts brought to justice, but it's going to be a big nothing, okay? Now, yes, now yes, because that involves, you know, celebrities. The government were the government people. I don't think they destroyed the Epstein tapes. but somebody, a Comey-like person, took possession of them and added them to the J. Edgar Hoover files. Okay, these are the files that they pull out when you come up against them, right? Well, you know, you better not oppose that bill because remember that time on Epstein Island, we got the tape. So none of that's going to be there. It's going to be a big nothing. Whatever she comes up with today and whatever she releases on Saturday. And, you know, she won't make that mistake she made the other day. She won't make again. And I'm probably the only person that remembers it because people got so excited. One other thing that's only worth a second or two of mentioning. You're going to start to see a lot of conservative news talk about Andrew Tate, okay? Andrew and his brother. Yeah, you're familiar with Andrew Tate, Steve? No, not the prince, but he thinks he's a prince. He's that a lot of conservative media are obsessed with Andrew Tate. He used to be an MMA fighter, and he's where's he in Bulgaria, and he's facing some kind of oppression. And a lot of news. Tucker Carlson went to Europe to interview him. I mean, I was in shock. You know, and a lot of conservatives make a big deal about Andrew Tate because it's good for, he was a kickboxer. That he makes he gets a lot of views. People pay attention to him. He's one of the 5 most famous men in the world. Like, it's like Trump, Putin, Elon Musk, and then Andrew Tate's the next famous man in the world. I think he's the 4th famous man. Yeah, you're lucky. And he says things that we like. Men should be men, and women should be women, and men need to learn how to be men, and our boys are being taught to be girls. But he's involved in all kinds of creepy stuff. And and there's a story today that Andrew Tate and his brother are fleeing Europe and coming to America. And it's very possible that the conservative influencers take them on a grand tour of America because everybody's going to want to have them on their air and on their shows. And you don't want anything to do with Andrew Tate. He is a train wreck. I know he says some things that we agree with, but this is a guy with more baggage than any man alive. And I'm hoping he doesn't get embraced by MAGA when he comes to America. His goal will be to try to meet Trump. And I hope that does not happen. If it does, it does, but let's hope it doesn't happen. All right, now, I want to tell everyone about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. The laser wave pain treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard of: acute pain, chronic pain, herniated disc, rotary tears, plantar fasciitis, which I understand is one of the most horrific pains people deal with. You can treat plantar fasciitis with a laser wave pain treatment, fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, sciatica, tinnitus, knee injuries, knee conditions, knee pain, neck injuries, back injuries, post-surgical swelling, repetitive motion injuries, strains and sprains, work injuries, sports injuries, arthritis, bursitis. The list goes on. I mean, that's an incomplete list. I could go on all day. You don't have to suffer in pain. Go see Dr. Appleton. The laser wave pain treatment works. He's rid me of pain 7 times, okay? Living with pain is not a part of growing older. There's no drugs, no shots, no injections, no downtime. It is 100% painless. You don't even feel it, the laser treatment, when it's being done. Dr. Appleton performs all the treatments himself, and appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, like I've done 7 times. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Call us on hold. Stand by. We'll be right back.
Trump before. We didn't appreciate him, but I think Trump did.
Uncommon Valor. Yeah, that's another good one. Uncommon Valor, that's a good one. The Quick and the Dead is an awesome movie. I don't remember him in Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp? He was in Wyatt Earp? I don't remember that. I've had a couple of people say he was in Wyatt Earp. Yeah, I see it in his IMDb. I don't remember him in Wyatt Earp.
If you're a homeowner or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Laporta Roofing has been in the roofing and construction business since 1984, with thousands of roof installations and thousands of satisfied customers. Did you know that in the state of Florida, you can open a roofing company and borrow someone else's license? Tom Laporta is the holder of his roofing and general contractor's licenses, not like the other companies that borrow other people's licenses. So be sure who you're dealing with. Tom Laporta and his team are honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and he'll never sell you a roof you don't need. Laporta Roofing carries all insurance, including workers' compensation on all of its employees. Not just a waiver like other contractors. Laporta Roofing can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing, HOAs, condominiums, and churches. If it's roofing, Laporta Roofing can do it. So call Tom Laporta on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, or connect online at laportaroofing.com. That number again is 954-604-4602. Laporta Roofing, the go-to roofing company you can trust.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All right. We are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. You back with us, Steve? Okay, callers on hold, stand by. There's one other thing I want to mention. I forget. Who cares that Floyd Mayweather is saying good things about Trump? What's the big deal with him praising Trump all of a sudden? Have you seen this in the news? They're obsessed. This isn't the 90s. It's not a big deal to be black and support a Republican. I know it used to be rare, right? But Floyd Mayweather, they're making such a big deal. Oh, Floyd Mayweather. Oh, are they giving him a show on the Fox app or something? Who cares? You know, it used to be a big deal for a black, if a black celebrity came out in favor of a Republican in the 90s, it'd be news. But today, come on. It's about as newsworthy as someone coming out of the closet as gay. That's not even shocking anymore. You know what I mean? It's fake news.
The big thing that is happening, from my point of view, that I've never felt before. Yesterday was the first time I really felt that they're going to get a handle on this thing and they're going to deliver the beginnings of a balanced budget. And I felt that before.
No.
even though you had the feeling they might pull it out at the end, but this is different this time. They really feel kind. I was listening to Johnson as the guy, right?
Mm-hmm. MAGA Mike Johnson.
And he's confident that they're going to get it signed, and we saved the whole country. And it's astounding and amazing, and basically the one major story that matters above all else.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Nice to how are you today? I'm doing great. Sad day with Jean Hackman passed. I just have to make...
They told you. Everybody loves Jean Hackman. Told you, Steve.
Absolutely. They had a 24-hour film fest with him. I watched the whole thing. French Connection, Popeye Doyle, and Hoosiers. I don't know how many times I watched those movies.
Hoosiers is awesome.
Yeah.
Which was the Gene Hackman film that he played a blind man? It was a comedy.
A blind man.
A blind man. Huh. I don't.
It was a supporting role. I'm not even sure it was the.
Early in his career. It must have been early in his career, I guess. I'm not sure.
Somebody will call him with that.
I think I've seen every Gene Hackman movie. He just was an iconic actor, and he's going to be missed, sadly. I have a comment. I watched the cabinet meeting with Trump, and my goodness, I tell you, I thought it was sensational. But what they did is, I saw an old film. Remember when Biden was doing?
Oh, by the way, somebody said to me, was it Young Frankenstein? I didn't know he was even in that. Young Frankenstein? I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yes.
Got to see it now. I got to say,
it's basically a bit part.
Yeah. When he's recognized as being a tremendous actor. I saw the cabinet meeting yesterday with Trump, and I thought it was just sensational. And my goodness, there's some high IQ people in that cabinet. But then they switched over to a Biden cabinet meeting. You remember the one where Jill had to take over because he was so out of it, and it was.
Well, they made the media see this thing about the fake news, like they're making Floyd Merriweather says he likes Trump. We got a black man who likes Trump. What are they doing? Are they going to give him a show on Fox? They were making a big deal for 2 days that Elon was going to be in the cabinet meeting. And then the press wouldn't stop asking Elon questions. I thought it was a problem for him to be there. They weren't asking Pete Hegseth questions. They were asking Elon the whole time.
Distraction. Yeah.
What am I missing here?
The media created this fake controversy that there was something inappropriate with Elon Musk being there. He was sitting along the wall where all the non-cabinet members sit, and it was a line of people up there, like Peter Navarro and a whole bunch of others. There's a lot of people that are advisors and such that sit along the wall, and it was just fake news, contrived controversy, is what they made out of that.
I don't see what was controversial about it.
Well, they were trying to make it controversial. The media, they spent 10 days as if there was some national crisis that Elon Musk would attend a cabinet meeting. Alina Habba was there. I mean, come on. Everybody was there.
I don't think anybody in the Biden cabinet will last 10 minutes in the Trump cabinet. I really don't. I don't see anybody who stood out in the Biden cabinet at all. But I see a lot of people who stand out in the Trump cabinet. We have we got a Hall of Fame cabinet, I think, there. The bankruptcy of the Democratic Party. I'm watching Jake Tapper with his book now of how he's defending that they didn't cover up a lie when he.
Well, Jake Tapper Jake Tapper may have done himself in, because he was reprimanding people on his show who would dare question the mental health of Joe Biden, and now he wrote this whole book about it. So what he's done is admitted that he was part of the cover-up, yes, he reprimanded her on the air, and he may find it. I'm telling you, he may find himself out of work by his book. He may put himself out of work with that book. He's the one. Jake Tapper is the one that tried to get me arrested with Laura Loomer. Okay. And the only reason that we didn't get arrested is because the cop listens to this program. And he told them, the cop told them, you don't want to arrest him. He'll be on the radio tomorrow saying Jake Tapper had me arrested. And they said, I don't care who he is, arrest him. And luckily the guy was. I told Laura, we're walking out. I said, Laura, we're gonna get arrested. Oh, and she likes to get arrested. I don't. And I saw the cop, and I saw the cop. I said, we're gonna get arrested, and even though we did nothing. And I said, and I did a preemptive hello to the cop. I said, hey officer, how you doing? And he says, hey Brian. He says, I'll call. He says, I got to follow you. I got to walk with you to your car, but I'll call you tomorrow and tell you what happened. And he called, and I gave him my cell, and he called me and told me all this stuff. Jake Tapper is a nasty man, and a very nasty man.
So now I'm watching these. Mark Cuban is now officially an independent. He's abandoned the Democratic Party. He's going to be doing podcasts with MAGA people. That party is, I think it's gone. I mean, they're running.
Good.
Which is now an independent.
Good.
Jeff Bezos is shading the op-ed.
Good. Donnie Deutsch. Is Donnie Deutsch still dating President Trump's second wife, Marla Maples? He's always on TV hating on Trump, and I think he should have to disclose that. I'm sleeping with Marla Maples. He should let it be known. And anytime you hear Donnie Deutsch talk, you're really hearing Marla Maples, right? Because she's pissed. Because she's telling herself, I would be the first lady. I always thought she was. I remember when President Trump married her, I thought she was beneath him when they got married. I must say. I must say, President Trump. Yeah.
Still, I guess,
No, but Tiffany is a great. Everybody loves Tiffany.
Yeah.
All right, take care. Got to run. Okay, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour and be back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here on the Steve Kane Show with amazing Brian.
Okay, hey, what's going on? Which mic is that?
It's the one next to yours.
You sure it's not on? There we go. Hey, do you have anything special for today?
No, not really. I mean, I just wrote some notes.
Okay.
This new flyer going out. That's about it.
Oh, can I just look at it real quick?
Yeah, sure, please. Absolutely. You want? If I can, maybe it's better you question me on it.
Friday, a high of 74 degrees and mostly sunny. Friday, mostly clear, low 67 degrees.
Weather brought to you by.
Oh yeah, I'll ask you about that.
Good.
Yeah.
That's actually the most important part.
Yeah, I'll give it back to you when I'm done. But let me keep.
it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Jenny just printed a bunch, and then they messed up the paper stock, so they gave us an extra 200.
Oh.
We got plenty. How you been, man?
Good. How you doing?
So Jean Hackman passed away, huh?
Well, you know what happened? They found him, his wife, and dog all dead.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What Steve said probably makes sense. Carbon monoxide. That's probably what happened.
I would never have a gas stove. You have a gas stove?
No.
I would never.
Electric. Could be the cars. Some of these cars, you heard a lot. Tommy's Gardens, like a year ago, there was like several people that passed away. You leave the car in the garage, and they die.
Well, I mentioned this earlier. That my grandfather was at someone's house, and they had gas, and they was having some work done. This plumber, and he took out the welding blowtorch and blew the house up with my grandfather, and he killed everybody.
Oh my God, really?
I would never have gas.
That's insane.
My daughter has gas at her house in California.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah. That's not cool, man.
Those are big explosions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Wow. I can't believe it was, what is it, 96? At least 91?
96.
96. Wow.
No matter what, though, every caller wants to talk about Jean Hackman today. I can't.
Why don't we talk about Jean Hackman?
Yeah, Jean Hackman. Did he have annuities?
Cool.
Jean Hackman.
Jean Hackman, I was actually thinking about it. No, not really, but we don't know. No, Jean was a good guy. I liked every movie he was in.
Pretty much. I can't. Yeah.
The French Connection was, I think I was probably.
That was before my time.
Yeah,
I saw it as a
9 or
kid.
10 at the time. So
Yeah.
it came out. I remember some of the car chases were cool, but I didn't get the movie.
What is-
Heroin, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's not for me.
No, but he was a cool actor. What was the movie with Tom Cruise he was in?
The Firm.
The Firm. That was a good movie. Yeah, that was a good movie.
All right, Joe Thomas. I was just talking about Jean. Everybody wants. I told Joe Thomas, no matter what we bring up, they want to talk about Jean Hackman. Joe Thomas is here. How you doing, Joe?
Good, man.
Okay, now this is every time you come in, you got something very exciting. And, of course, we talk about annuities a lot. Your money's not at risk. Doesn't matter if the market tanks. Your money's fine.
Right.
And you got you got an income stream when you're retired. But here's something here you have on this flyer of yours. about a bonus. What are you talking about here with a bonus?
So these income annuities kind of help you get started with income, and they entice you to put your money there. And quite honestly, it's a great deal. I have this particular contract myself, and it's a 10% bonus up front of your money. So you put 50 grand in, you start with 55,000. You put 100,000 in, you start with 110. So
That's
it
great.
It builds up your retirement instantly. So this is great for somebody who has an IRA, a 401k, or somebody sitting around a bank doing nothing.
So you take your money out of your 401k or wherever you got it, you put it into an annuity, and you make 10% on the first day.
Day one.
All right, well, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for coming. No, I mean, what else do you need to hear?
Really, and then wait, it gets better. And every year that you don't take income, the insurance company is going to give you 8.25% of your money, 8.25% guaranteed of your money.
Wait, no. I mean, okay, so you get 10%. You get 10% bonus right in the beginning.
Correct.
Okay, and then what's this? And explain this part to me again, because
Every year that you do not take income and you defer the income until a later date, they're going to give you 8.25%.
Oh, so so you want to get in as young as you can then?
Exactly. Well, you can do it, and a lot of clients that come into this is like my age, in the 60s. And then they figure in 5 or 10 years they turn the income on for a life, and the income's guaranteed. It's another pension plan for you for a life.
That's amazing.
It's another Social Security payment.
It's absolutely amazing, and your money's not at risk, which is what I love. Well, I mean, these are a no-brainer. And I was talking about you the other day on the air, and I was saying that I've heard people talk about annuities for as long as I can remember, and I never understood them or the benefits until I met you.
Right.
And I don't know why everyone's not doing this.
People don't know about it. It's that simple. By the way, when you take the test to pass for this licensing, which I've had for years and years, it's actually said that the Romans actually had some form of an annuity where you buy something and then they pay you. And that's really, in essence, the simplicity of an annuity.
You know, and guaranteed income for life, that's a big thing.
It is.
You know, but I'd asked you a couple weeks ago when you were in, I said, you know, what's the difference when somebody is a high net worth person, they're retiring, and somebody who's a middle class person? You said it's the same. Everybody wants more income.
Everybody wants income.
Yeah.
We did that article, we read that article about Shaq. There's a guy who's worth $500 million, $500 million, and he still has money in annuities because he wants the income stream coming in. Nothing wrong with guaranteed income. Nothing.
No, and there is not a, you know, listen, everyone, especially when you're retired, everyone lives at their income level. And when you're retired, and prices still go up, and you got more time on your hands. You want to play golf, and if you want the good tea time, it's not. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Well, here's the thing: the stock market right now is very challenging. Now, look, we love what Trump's doing, right? You know everything's going to work out in the end. The tariffs are kind of freaking people out, but they're not actually going to affect the economy. They're going to increase the economy. It's going to make it better. But people are getting a little scared, so the market's kind of jittery, you know. But here's the nice thing: when you're in an annuity that we offer, no risk. You don't care if the market goes up or down.
Well, also when you're in the workforce, and okay, you have your money, you're in stocks, and it tanks. You know it's eventually going to come back.
Correct.
But when you're retired, you may not have as much time for it to build back up. You don't have time to wait around for that necessarily.
No, you want income.
You want the income because you want to go on a vacation.
Exactly.
Or you want to bring the kids to Florida to come visit you. Listen, if you want to turn your money into guaranteed income for the rest of your life, I mean, I mean, have you not all called Joe Thomas yet? I mean, there's. I got to tell you something. I have never seen something that's been advertised that has so many positives to it.
Right.
And if you notice, this isn't like when they do those car things and they tell you all these great things, and then they talk really fast with all the things.
Disclosure.
Yeah, this is guaranteed income for the rest of your life. You get a 10% bonus on your money on day one.
Correct.
If you don't take income, you get another bonus every year of 8.25. I mean, you know, and no matter what happens with the stock market, your nest egg is always safe.
Never at risk.
All right. Listen, Joe Thomas is offering free phone consultations, which you can take advantage of no matter where you're located in America. He'll put together a custom proposal just for you based on your situation, your needs, your wants, your goals. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. If you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for coming in. All right, take care. We are back. And Steve, you back with us? Okay, good. All right, do you want to go to the phones? What do you want to do? Okay, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Larry from Tennessee.
Yes, Larry.
How are you doing?
Okay. Okay. See, I told you, Steve. It all goes back to Jean Hackman. No matter what we bring up, he must be the most beloved actor in the country. Every call, Steve. There's not been a call since 6 that has not mentioned Jean Hackman. Ah, boy. All right, Larry. All right, take care. What do you? I don't. That's the way it is, Steve. You're the one. You told me. I got this from you. You told me there's sometimes on his show where the audience is like a freight train, and you know. No, I mean it's just one of those things. And I guess not. Oh, how to avoid the freight train. How to avoid the freight train. Well, well, you know, what are you going to do, Steve? What are you going to do? No, I'm going to tell you, you're not a Jean Hackman fan. I can hear it. Well, you've cleared the board, Steve. Okay, so we could start over again. I'm looking at the phone board, and this is like the phone board on the Joyce Kaufman show. Okay, you have cleared the entire line. We have a clean slate. You know. What if somebody doesn't like Jean Hackman? Can we take that? All right. So we have cleared. Hey, don't sweat the small stuff. What are you gonna do? No, Steve. Listen. What happened? Listen. What happened is I brought up the big stuff of the day. And which I had some, I'm not going to go over it again right now. I had some great stuff like I do every day. And I'd go to the phones, boom, Jean Hackman. So then I went into another story, also big news today. Go to the phones, Jean Hackman. So I've been broken. I guess the audience broke me for today. I'm just writing out. It's been so. Try again. Try again. 2 tries. Yes, 2 tries. I remember. I think they say. Yes. All right. Oh my goodness. You're on the air. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Tom from Florida.
Oh, hey, Tom.
How you doing, guys? Nothing much. Let's see here. I guess we'll not mention who shall not be mentioned.
If I were to after yesterday's call, Tom, my guess would be your favorite Jean Hackman movie is The Birdcage, I bet. But anyway, what's on your mind?
The Birdcage isn't that bad.
Yeah, I know. You can relate to the characters in it. All right, you're on okay, but move on. Steve's going to kill me.
Guess what? I just want you to know, you keep coming at me with these weird things, it's starting to question, yours.
Okay, you can question it all you want.
If you things you belong in the produce section, okay?
The produce section.
I just wanted to say, Jean Hackman was a fantastic actor, and he was great in his...
See, Steve? Oh my goodness. It's just, maybe we should just not take calls. Maybe we should just talk amongst ourselves. Steve, you can only move so fast. All right, if you're Steve, I've given up. I have been broken. You broke me. I know it's not. I could have been a contender. I could have been, but Oh my goodness. All right, our number. It's Marlon Brando on the waterfront. Yeah, and he said, did he say it to Carl Malden? Oh, yeah. His brother was Rod Steiger. Oh, the character, I have no idea. Okay, but I know the actor, Rod Steiger. Don't I get points for Rod Steiger? I mean, my goodness. Who knows Rod Steiger today? Oh, my goodness. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. Oh, see, so you don't mind talking about actors. You just don't like Jean Hackman. My goodness. I'm surprised. I did say earlier that you're not into Jean Hackman's a different era, that you're into the 50s. That's Rod Steiger too, or is that? Yeah, I know the Illustrated Man. Yes. I know that movie. No, it's just I'd rather talk about Jean Hackman than the Illustrated Man. But it's one of those days, Steve. You just can't. At this point, we only have a few minutes left to try to recover. Oh, happy birthday to your wife, Lori. Oh my goodness. To try to get the show back on track with just 15 minutes or so left is like, what's the point? Can we just take the Hackman calls? But oh my goodness, 36. Wow. You do marry them young. Oh my goodness. All right, our number is 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You've cleared out the board again, Steve. The Jean Hackman people have gotten the message. Okay, the Jean Hackman fan club. But but I want to tell you, no, this is a point to be made about this though. Beyond that, famous people die all the time. I cannot remember the last time we've had calls on the air, one after the other, over a celebrity that died. Because we don't talk about celebrities. We don't talk about things like this too much. And, Gene Hackman's obviously famous. He hasn't made a movie in about 20 years because, he retired. But actors, movie stars die all the time. And I don't think we've ever gotten calls like this, boom, 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 on this program about any actor that's passed away, which really tells you something about how beloved he is. Now, I want to tell you guys what is, okay, no problem. I did something today that was pretty amazing. I had to change my watch band hole. I had to use a different hole on my watch band because my wrist has gotten smaller because I've lost so much weight. I've not weighed myself in a couple days. I'm going to weigh myself tomorrow morning. I weigh myself at the same time every day, and I just keep forgetting. But I'm going to weigh myself tomorrow morning. Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Steve, I got to tell you, I have lost so much weight. I have, and this is something that I've heard people talk about when they've shed pounds before, but some things you just got to kind of experience. I have more energy than I've had since I was a kid. And I cannot believe the difference in energy level from losing over 20 pounds. It is night and day. I'm going all day long until the night. I've never had so much energy. And I feel great. I look great. My pants are falling off. I gotta buy new pants, new belts, and I'm gonna have to go and get my suit before the cruise and have it I guess altered so it'll fit me because it'll be falling off of my body. I've lost so much weight. And you can do the same thing. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, okay? I'm going to give you the number. Go meet with Dr. Zuckerman. And when you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. And when I was with Attorney Barry Siegel yesterday, those of you that were there that had met me before were telling me how much I've lost. And it's absolutely amazing. And they were, you all were also telling me you were gonna call them up, and you should. I'm not taking any medication, because that's the number one thing people are asking me. Are you taking Ozempic? No, I'm taking no medication. It's amazing. So give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call, 561-247-6300, 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, it's time for the Gold and Precious Metals Report. On the line, we have William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking?
A little bit weaker. We saw yesterday gold trade in a range of $2,890 on the low to $2,930 on the high, and closed out the day after being down early in the morning, up $1.80 to $2,916. Still very resilient around that $2,885 support level. Silver closed up 15 cents yesterday at $31.85. Silver, platinum was down $3 at $9.65, and palladium was down $1 at $913. As I said, we're seeing some selling taking place, which is giving us a great buying opportunity this week. Gold trading in a range overnight from $28.75 to $29.21 so far. Right now we're at $28.87. That's down $29. Silver's up in nickel at $31.90. Platinum's down $8 at $9.57, and palladium's down $7 at $9.06. So a little bit of a pullback, but when you consider that we've had a tremendous run-up, and the high for gold was only around $29.55, we're not that far off the highs, but we don't see big drops in these metals, so we've got to take advantage of it when we can.
Absolutely. And, we were talking the other day about how you buy the metals too, not just coins and bars, but old jewelry, things made of the metals, sterling silver sets and stuff. And obviously you can walk out with cash in hand, but a lot of times what people do, you could talk about this, William Youngerman, because I think this is a really interesting thing. You can take the money if you just want to take the money, but you can also take that sterling silver, that old jewelry, that old gold jewelry, and turn it into gold coins so you can monitor the value of your metal. How does that work?
And bring whenever you want to trade in, and we give you we give you even better prices on trade-ins, and so you actually walk out with something that's very tradable, very recognizable in the form of gold or silver bars or coins, whichever you prefer, and then you've got something that's easy to also give to children, grandchildren, and it's very easy to include in your estate.
Absolutely, absolutely. So listen, give William Youngerman a call, and I think that's something that people don't really think about too much, and it is a great way for what you said, and also you can monitor the value of your metal that way pretty easily too. All right, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And find both William Youngerman's phone number and address on his website, williamyoungerman.com. That's williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. All right, we are back, and you back with us, Steve? Okay, a couple things, though. There was another story that happened today, is that the Supreme Court backed Trump on this foreign aid. And, it is really interesting what President Trump has done, something that no president has ever done. Every single president, even a lot of the Democrats, not all of them, but a lot of them, have always talked about reducing the size of government. We've never seen that happen before. And, but what he's done is expose this large criminal enterprise. What the Supreme Court, it was actually John Roberts, who's a piece of work, but he did the right thing. John Roberts ruled in favor of Trump on cutting foreign aid. And what these Democrats are doing, whatever the wrong thing is to do, the Democrats have been doing it with Trump, right? Elon catches them stealing from the bank, from the National Treasury. They say, oh, we got a right to steal. The foreign aid. They're telling us that these foreign countries are entitled to our tax money, you talk about the budget. This budget is kind of still based on the bloated government. The next budget's when we're going to really see some cuts. And we have never seen a reduction in government like is happening right now. And I've been telling you guys, President Trump's and this may happen big time. What his ultimate goal is, historically, the party in power loses control of Congress in the midterms. That is historic. I mean, you can almost set a clock to that. However, that may not be the case this time because things are happening in such a different way. And President Trump's ultimate goal, he's got a lot of goals, but this I think is one of his biggest. And he may unveil this before the midterms where this will become the issue, and that's eliminate the income tax. His whole plan is to eliminate the income tax. You can see it. He's practically says it already. And you know, when they come out with the list of how many federal workers are drawing a salary that don't exist, and these are going to be big salaries, six-figure salaries, multi-six-figure salaries, okay? People that are making several hundred a year that don't exist or are dead, and somebody's getting the money. They're cutting back the foreign aid. They're doing all these things. He's going to show that you can fund the government on the import taxes and some other things. And you can see how popular it is because Ron DeSantis he hasn't announced yet, but he's obviously running for president because he's going out and saying all kinds of things. And Ron DeSantis said this week that he wants to end property taxes in Florida. And he says, why do you have to pay taxes on your own house? And property taxes, they're a lot. You know, a lot of people are shocked. They work hard to pay off their house, so they have a mortgage-free home, and then they have property taxes. And they're like, oh my goodness, I'm really not saving as much as I thought every month because of the property taxes. And DeSantis is starting a Florida version of Doge. So he's the first governor we've seen, he's running for president, who's taken Trump's policies to the state level. We're going to see other governors do that. What President Trump is doing is exposing the government and the waste and the theft in a way it's never happened before, and it's incredibly popular. Okay, so we're going to go to the phones. I'm going to tell you that if you mention Jean Hackman, Steve's going to yell at you. Okay, but okay, all right. Let's see. I'm just giving you guys the disclaimer. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris from Pamela.
Hey, Chris, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you as far as the midterm goes because, first of all, President Trump and his team are doing a great job. Hard to deny. Anyone that denies anything coming up with is they have their hand in a cookie jar. So it's just hard to deny these things.
One second, I just want to point something else to my friend, my partner here. Okay, see how easy that was?
What? Well, now you're talking about Jean Hackman. Not talking about. But you know he wants to talk about Jean Hackman. He's just not doing it because he doesn't want to get yelled at by you.
Well, and it is interesting. So yeah, I mean the balancing the budget and everything. I mean, so I don't believe this midterm is going to affect us much. Only again, you just have those few that don't want to ruffle their feathers. Again, they have their hands in the cookie jar, so they want business as usual. But no, I have a thing about older Americans. It's funny. We were just talking last week. So Jean Hackman and 95 this year. Christy turns 95 in May. Barry Gordy turned 95 in December.
Oh, I thought Barry Gordy was dead. He's still alive? Oh my goodness.
The other thing about the century mark, last year we all know about Jimmy Carter turning 100, but Trixie, who played Joyce Randolph, she was going to be 100 last year, but she passed it.
Well, you know what I've learned, and you can speak to this from evidence, Steve. You know, those that smoke live a long time. Those that never smoke, those that never smoke live a long time. Those who smoke die by like 65. And if you think about it, the people just drop like flies in their 60s, and those are the smokers. The ones that live in their 80s and 90s are the non-smokers. That's it. I mean, that's just a rule of thumb. So don't smoke, kids. All right, take care. I got a full board of calls, so let's see here. Let's see if we hear Jean Hackman. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Oh, this is great. Oh, boy. He's calling us again. Oh, my goodness. Okay, all right. Maybe, I think he's talking about Jean Hackman and Morse code. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, I meant Louise, the mask lady.
You look great. You've got a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
Oh, anyway,
I wish I could compliment how you look, but you were wearing a mask. I have no idea what you look like. Louise, first, I walk into the Spanish River Library. First listener I meet is her, and she says, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "You're Louise, the mask lady." And it's like, "How do you know?" I said, "Because you're the only one with a mask on."
go in. I came from an appointment. I ran back to Boca, ran back to my appointment.
Oh.
I'll go to another one.
Okay.
Anyway, I want to talk about the property tax. Have you seen the commercial, stuff the bus, that they're asking for school supplies for the teachers and so on? My son sees them outside of public.
You know what? We're out of time. I lost track of time. But it was good to meet you in the mask. I don't know what you look like, but listen, we're out of time. So if you're on hold, stand by. Tomorrow is Open Phones, Open Mag and Mike Friday. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane has been here as well. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m.
The cold, hard truth.
Brian Craig here. We're in studio with retirement advisor.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? I'll see you later. Take care.